Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff McConey, and with me in the booth is the Italian stallion, Mr. Rocco Stallone. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. What makes Talladega so unique and special? Is it the high speeds, the strategy on pit stops, and the 205 mile per hour game of chess that every driver is playing? Is it the combination of those three? Nobody really knows for sure, but what we do know is that this place leads to some amazing, hectic, and unpredictable racing. This track is known for being unique, to put it lightly. Any one of these drivers out here can win it, whether they're starting on the pole or dead last. If you've got a car that can keep up with the pack, you've got yourself a car that can win this race. However, to finish first, you must first finish, which means avoiding the inevitable wrecks that always seem to occur, and of course, the big one. That wreck is one that we always know is coming, but never know when. It's sudden, it's hectic, and it leads to a lot of bent sheet metal. Where will it strike tonight? Will it be at the beginning of the race or at the end? How many cars will be wrapped up in it? That is all to be seen as we get ready for a fantastic race at NASCAR's fastest, longest, and most fun track to watch. But before we get started, what are you most looking forward to, Rocco?
Jeff, it's great to be here tonight. Great to call this race with you. I'm looking forward to everything. It's Talladega. It's the pretty similar yet not quite the same sibling of its brother in Daytona. Little bit of a difference. What I like about Talladega is it's wider, Jeff. A little bit more space out there. We'll see a lot more 3x3 racing. Yes, the 3 wide, 1, 2, turn 3. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. 33-degree bank into turns, 2.66 miles. Tri-oval. I mean, it's super speedway goodness, Jeff, and I'm excited to do this with you, and let's get this thing going.
I am right there with you. We have 54 laps of racing coming up here in the Autism Awareness 250. There's a lot going on here in practice. Everyone is really trying out everything. I've seen 4 wide, I've seen single file, but right now at the top of the board is Mr. Chris Reese. I see another Reese in here, Nicholas Reese in the 36 car. I don't know if he's racing, I don't know if he's spotting, but one thing to keep in mind is teammates. And if those two are brothers and they are running together, having a teammate here is very, very important, and it can change everything the way you race this race.
Yeah, you couldn't be any more right about that, Jeff. It's one of those things you need to have that guy who's going to pull out a line with you. You can't go and be by yourself because then you're going to just watch all your hard work just go by you on the inside line as you tried that high line but got nobody to go with you. But if you have that teammate, maybe one, maybe even two guys to form that alternate line, you can get pushed and you can go to the front, kind of like what they're doing now a little bit.
You're exactly right. You see some 2 wide action here, double file, and the outside line seems to be working there. So usually you see about 3 cars here is the magic number for people that can work together. But right there, a 4-car run on the outside just made something happen. And reminder, this is just practice. These are just guys going out there and seeing what they can do. But you mentioned earlier that this is a wide track. You can go 4 wide. You can go 5 wide if you're really feeling crazy. And I think we're going to see that for the win probably. It's going to get very, very close here. And right there, you see a little bit of wrecking going on. Hopefully not too much of that during the race.
Yeah, thankfully these don't count. That's exactly what this practice time is for, to hopefully get it all out of you in practice when it doesn't really count. But yeah, Jeff, the sheer width of this track, there's so many moves that can be made. As you said in the opening, it's a chess match. It's something that you just need to be on top of your game at all times. And with the extra real estate making this track wider than Daytona, a lot more can happen.
You're absolutely right. Something to keep in mind as well, I don't know if we can get an in-car view of one of these drivers, but when they're right up behind somebody, you really can't see much of anything. It's blocked. You're boxed in. You can't see anything, and you're relying on that guy in front of you to not make a mistake and not check up. And if he does, it can cause some major issues. So that is certainly a major issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, Jeff, that's one thing I've noticed when I'm driving and you're on that inside line, you're kind of trying to find that yellow line peeking around the guy in front of you. And although you know you're probably not going to use any brake, you got to know when to enter that turn, especially when you got somebody right on your door. You don't want to be in the big one. You definitely don't want to be the cause of the big one.
That wreck, the big one, always seems to happen here. Nobody ever knows when it's going to happen, but when it strikes, you sure know when it's occurred. And right there, a little bit more wrecking. They're not done tearing up race cars. a big
Oh,
wreck
I
for
know.
the team.
Hopefully, again, this is just them getting it all out, getting it out of their system. You would think they're probably a little bit more loose with this practice session. If you just go into the pits and get yourself a new ride, as opposed to the race where you got, I think, one shot. I think we got one fast repair tonight. You might check me on that, but yeah, you want to get it out now because one wreck maybe you're in, then two, and you're done, and your night's over, and you watch everybody else go for the checker.
And that's one of the most frustrating things is when you get caught up in someone else's wreck and you run out of fast repairs, or even worse, you accidentally use it. So we'll do our best up here to keep track. Everybody will have one fast repair this race. It's just, when do you use it? If you get a little bit of front end damage, is it worth using it? Are you banging on another caution? You never really know. It's a hard decision to make when to use it unless you absolutely have to. So we'll see if that plays into the strategy of it. 54 laps, there's at least one pit stop we're going to need to make here. Everybody's on a fixed setup, so we'll see how they end up handling this issue.
Yeah, Jeff, and you happen to mention the accidentally using of the fast repair. I think everybody that's watching with us tonight, if they are in fact an iRacer, I think everybody's done that at least one or two. I know I've been guilty of getting into an altercation and being like, it's okay, and then looking and like, wow, I used it when I had a second of damage to fix. So it's funny you mentioned it.
Oh, I've done that plenty of times, more times than I can count. When you just sit and go, oh my gosh, the one crutch I had, the one safety net, and I just threw it away. So you're actually riding on board with Johnny Brugg right there. That is a fantastic camera view. Really shows how close these guys are. You can barely see the eyes of the car behind him. Keep that in mind. That car behind him can't really see much of anything. So try to put yourself into their shoes and imagine what it's like here, trying to see around these other cars and plan your moves. When it comes down to crunch time here with about 10 to go, man, we're going to see some crazy racing.
Yeah, Jeff, and you also alluded to it before. It absolutely has to do with a lot of trust. You got to trust the guy in front of you. You got to trust the guy behind you. You can't see. You're following the guy in front of you. As racers, we're taught to look ahead of us, but in these tracks, it's almost impossible to do that. So you just got to hope the 3 or 4 guys in front of you are on their game, because if one of them checks up, you're kind of going to go along for a ride and probably not going to end up looking too pretty from it.
You're right, but thankfully on the front stretch here, there's a lot of room to save it, and we could end up seeing some guys save it down there. It's all about driver talent here. How well are you able to wheel your way around this track, and how well are you able to work with the people around you? Because keep in mind, if you are, let's say you get a good push on the outside, and as soon as you're clear, you jump down in front of the inside line, well, that guy on the outside is not going to appreciate that too much, and maybe a little bit later, he's not going to help you when you need it, because he'll remember that that statement you made by jumping down in front. So we'll see how relationships form. It's only 54 laps. We're getting ready to start qualifying here, but in only 54 laps, it's not too much time to make friends, but it's enough if you need to.
Yeah, Jeff, and I'm sure a lot of these guys have run together before. I'm sure there's been some rivalries and some friendships that have developed along the ways. There's always the wild cards. There's always those leagues that you get in and you kind of establish and you see on the leaderboard. You're just like, who's that guy? So there's always going to be a couple of them. But again, they got to run as a pack. It's what did Darrell Waltrip call it? Co-opetition. You're going to see a lot of that tonight.
A lot of co-opetition. I actually haven't heard that before, so I guess shame on me. But let's take a look at qualifying here. Qualifying at a super speedway track is very difficult. Usually you get 2 laps, and they're going to get 2 laps here tonight. What I usually end up doing is running the first lap all the way up at the wall as close as I can, trying to get as much speed going off of pit road when you first go out. That first lap, you're running at the wall, and then right when you're coming to the line for the second lap, you get it all the way down to the bottom and try to cut that distance down around the track, because you're never lifting here. You're staying all out, flat out as much as you can. So we'll see. I think on these first laps for a lot of these guys, we're going to see them running the wall. You see that right there in the car on screen at the 98.
Yeah, we saw the 98 scrape the wall a little bit, so I'm not sure if that first lap was going to count, or that could have been the opening lap. I'm not sure. But is Presley Sora. We've seen him. He's been a factor in all of these races that we've seen so far, or at least all the races that I've had the pleasure of calling. But we've seen Presley Sora up toward the front in many of these. I do remember he was up front at Daytona before madness ensued at the end. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays this field tonight.
Take a look at the front end of those cars when we get it back in camera view. It's amazing. They're front end is just glued to the ground, and you can see where it's bumping up. Now, those bumps don't look like much to us, but inside the car, you can certainly feel them. And when you're driving, it'll knock that car right out of position. And when the air is pulling on the car, when you're driving next to somebody else, these cars can be pretty difficult to control sometimes. So we might see two guys get pulled together and make contact that way. It's not easy to get around this track, even though you're just sitting on the gas the entire time.
No, and it's one of those things where by itself the car is pretty easy to drive, and then when you're behind somebody, it obviously changes a little bit, and they throw a bunch of guys around you, and it's unpredictable. That's one of the things that's one of the challenging things of a track like Talladega. Yeah, it's not very demanding as far as inputs on the throttle and the brakes, but it is very demanding on knowing what's going to happen and 10 seconds ahead of yourself.
Right there, Sora is up to second on the leaderboard. Had a fantastic run right there. The guy that put this event on, William Kruska, is currently sitting around 15th, so we'll see how his lap goes coming up. But Matt Arcara right now on the top of the 50.787. As I say that, Chris Rees, our leader in practice, comes out with a 50.782. He's now the leader with just a couple minutes left here, and he's no longer the leader. There goes Tony Edmondson.
Yeah, and qualifying is so important at a track like this because the more guys you can put behind you when everybody's packed together, that's the less of the chance that you're going to be involved in that early shuffling incident. And so qualifying it's not imperative as far as if you start from the back, you just have we see someone getting loose there. I don't know exactly who that was, but like I was saying, you can work your way up to the front, but you'd rather not.
Right, and some people have, there's really no two identical strategies here at Talladega Superspeedway. Usually, if I start up at the front, I'm going to just try and stay up there, but if I start at the back, I'm going to ride around in the back and let the wrecks happen. I think the worst place that you can be here is in the middle of the pack because you just have nowhere to go, and unfortunately, that happens a lot of the time where you're just stuck in the middle of the pack and you get caught in a wreck and there's just nothing you can do, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of three wide, sometimes you just grip the wheel and try to keep your line and hope that you see two cars either go in front of you or behind you and that your spotter says clear. I don't think there's anything more gut-wrenching than being in the middle of three wide on any track, let alone Talladega.
It's absolutely crazy. And like we mentioned, the air is pulling the cars one way and the other, and you don't even have to move the wheel to the right to end up hitting someone. It can just pull you together with the physics here on iRacing, and it's incredibly realistic. A lot of people say it's as close to getting behind the wheel of a real race car without having to put on a fire suit. So we'll see how these guys manage to wheel it around here. Right now, Dalton Kilroe, with just 5 seconds left on the board, is on the pole. Abigail Winters in second, and Tony Edmondson is sitting in third, but they are all within a tenth of each other.
Wait a minute, Jeff. Am I the only one wearing a fire suit right now? I thought we were all supposed to.
You didn't get the email?
No.
I sent out an email. It was just the lower half fire suit and the top half was t-shirt tonight.
Oh, it's kind of warm in here. Okay, I'll check that and I'll be more diligent next time.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are already a little bit off cue now. Abigail Winters had a fantastic qualifying lap there, a 50.764. She's going to be starting second here tonight. Didn't make too much noise in practice, but right in qualifying, that's where you need to start. So I'm interested to see how she handles this position. Starting up near the front, on the outside, you're really in a tough spot because you're not controlling the restart. It's easy to just get absolutely run over by the inside line because that 43 car, Tony Edmondson, is going to be following right behind Dalton Kilroe. We'll see how it goes. But right now, starting on the pole is Dalton Kilroe in first. Second is Abigail Winters. Third, Tony Edmondson. Fourth, Tyler Foti. Fifth is Chris Rees. Sixth is Emmanuel Lopez. Seventh, Matt Arcara. In eighth is Alexander Cognac. Presley Sora, who we are expecting a lot out of tonight in that 98 car, starts ninth. And Joe Micadori, starts in 10th.
That's right, Jeff. And as we look at the rows forming behind Adam Coles and Johnny Brugg, 11th and 12th, respectively. Row 7 is JT Poole and Sean Stevens. Row 8 in 15th place, we got Jamie Dobbs and Matthew Molnar. In row 9, it's 17th and 18th, Ryan Decker and Vincent Isabella. Row 10, rounding out the top 20. In 19th, Nicholas Isidoro, and 20th place, our creator and administrator, William Pluska.
He's done a fantastic job running this series. They're a really great organization, Sim Racers for Mental Health is. Tonight is the Autism Awareness 250, a fantastic event, I think. Great cause to be behind, and absolutely proud to be a part of it here alongside everyone on this production crew. Starting in 21st is Patrick Hosier, 22nd is Austin Greer, 23rd, Colton Knight, 24th is Greg Dale. 25th is Thomas Freitas, 26th is Ryan Bonifay. 27th is Lauren Shaughnessy. I apologize if I butchered that last name. Wesley Fuller will start 28th. Kevin Kittleman starts 29th, with Tyler Dixon starting in 30th.
Yeah, we got a pretty wide out field. We got a lot of cars running tonight. Another full row up to the 20th. 31st and 32nd, Wilson and Reese. 33rd and 34th, Vinning and Mogard. 35th, 36th, Cross and Bazanich. 19th, row 19 with 37th and 8th place. These guys not putting times. Wheeler, Kaufman, Christopher Lane, and Timothy Tenery rounding out the field. There's more. Taylor Larson, David Westergreen, and Brandon Carr, all guys that did not put in qualifying laps. They will be starting at the back.
43 cars here, just like the days of old. I think something to keep an eye on, though. I see two identical last names here in this session. I don't know if they're brothers or what, so maybe one of you wonderful viewers out there in the chat can inform us and let us know if you know yourself. But Nicholas Reese and Chris Reese. And the one thing I can tell you from experience, the one thing you don't want to do as a competitor is let two family members get right next to each other, because one of two things will happen. They will either wreck, or they will either work their way to the front because they work fantastically together. I don't know which it's going to be here tonight for these two, but if they get close to each other, I would expect to see those two working together.
It's interesting you put it that way. You would hope that the same surname would be some teamwork and some competition, some cooperation. And it's interesting you say that, because I fight with my brother all the time, and I always want to work with him, and I always want to do good, but it just never works out. Like, I still want to be better, and at Talladega, that wouldn't work.
I've done some racing with my brother here on iRacing at Talladega plenty of times before, and Daytona as well. And yeah, it works great until the white flag, and then we are both willing to wreck each other because we both want to win the race and not let the other, you can't lose to your brother. But right now, the pace car is ducking off a pit road. Dalton Kilroe controls the start here, That 41 car, keep an eye on him. The 43 of Tony Edmondson is right behind, but Abigail Winters on the outside is watching and waiting for that green flag. Gonna nail the gas. Green flag is out. There they go. It's a slow acceleration here, but the inside line seems to be getting some power as Abigail Winters needs to get a push from behind from the 40 car to get going.
Yeah, and everybody needs to be cautious here as they get up to speed. See a little bit of dicing back there in about 9th spot. You just got to get that car, get those revs up, because right now you're not at full speed. You're not feeling the full air yet, and you just got to make sure you get around the first lap safely.
Abigail Winters on the outside is struggling. You see the 43 of Tony Edmondson jump up, gets a push from behind from the 7. The one thing you don't want to do here is push the pusher. You can't give them too much of a push. It'll send them into the car in front, and it'll just be mayhem from there. But right now they are too wide, 6 rows deep. Everybody's fighting for every position. It looks like the inside line's got a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, a few more cars on that inside line, Jeff. And so early on, it's going to give him an early push. That outside line is definitely going to have that extra little oomph, though, on the backstretch like we see all the time when we come here. So they just need to fall in line. Still a long way to go. It's not a terribly long race, but still a lot of racing to go. I think now is the time to just kind of settle in and cruise a few laps.
Absolutely. At this point, you just need to cruise. You don't need to lead lap 1. You don't need to lead lap 20. You need to lead lap 54 and be there at the end. You don't have to be the fastest guy to win this race. You have to be the first one across the line. So take that as you will, but you have to finish the race, and you got to just lead the last lap. That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and everybody seems to be getting away pretty good. We're starting to see a few of them fall off the back. You really don't want to lose the draft this early. Then you have to hope something happens up front. But we're seeing a little bit of space starting to form between the leader and those back cars on that end. They're going to really they're really going to have to try hard to stay right up on that tail. You can't lose the draft this early.
They are 3 wide a little bit further back. The 5 is up on the outside along with the 27. But that 9 car you mentioned is Patrick Hosier. He is right now being pushed by the 35 car. They're sitting about 10 car lengths off of the lead pack. I think that's a good place to be. Close enough to catch the draft if you want to, but if there's a wreck, you've got time to check up. You see the 3 car on the outside leading that way. Lauren Shaughnessy, and he's trying to catch up to that lead pack being pushed from behind. I think we're going to see a lot of people start to lose now, though. You see Tyler Dixon right there, the 79 car a bit further back. But take a look at Ryan Bonifax. He's just cruising. He's about 10 car lengths off of the 9 car. So just sit way back there, let the mayhem ensue, and just survive it.
Yeah, Jeff, and Hosier had a little bit of an issue. He went real wide. I'm not sure if he touched the wall or not, but he's definitely slowed down a little bit. I don't know if he had help, but he was definitely close to that wall from what I saw. I don't know if he made contact, though, but he's definitely slow in the back.
Right now, someone that isn't slow at all is that 43 car with a great push by Tyler Fote in the 40. Right now, they're coming up on some lap traffic, actually, a bit early for that, I think. But right there, you see someone is just sitting up on the outside, the 22 car. Going a lap down here is not a death sentence as long as they don't lap anyone else. If your car is in good shape, you can actually just chill up there with the pack, have a good time, and roll around. You'll be 1 lap down. You'll get the lucky dog, though, and get a wave around if a caution were to come out. So we'll see if that's a strategy call. That's Emmanuel. No, that's not Emmanuel Lopez.
Starting to see some 3-wide action about 2-3 rows back. These guys are getting racy real soon. 5 laps into this, we're already seeing a couple rows of 3-wide racing. These guys want to be at the front.
Being at the front is important, but having a clean car is even more important than that. It trumps it. That is Emmanuel Lopez leading the outside line, though. He's got a push from the 98. That is Sora back there doing everything he can to get behind that 22 and shove and make it outside. Let's take a look on board, though. Take a look at this. Right there, he shoots the middle and hangs the 22 on the outside with no help. Someone else is going to fill that gap right there, but Presley Sora gets in and takes
we got a wreck. There's a big wreck. Wow.
My goodness. You saw that wreck.
Wow, if there was ever a way to see that like a driver would see it, I didn't see that coming. Wow, that scared me.
My goodness, what a big wreck. Let's take a look back at what caused it. So we're going to take a look back here once we get to this replay, but a big wreck here at the beginning. We commented on where it was. It looks like it was second place that started that wreck up there.
Well, yeah, it definitely happened up front. I mean, here we are, just like you would feel on the track. It looks like Matt Arcara got a huge chunk of that. I'm trying to just take a quick look and see what happened, but he definitely was involved somewhere. He was one of the cars we saw flying. We see him here. Yeah, he definitely got a piece. The 88 car. Wow, the 88 cars looked a lot better at times. And we're just trying to keep everything together so we can find out exactly who started this. But we see a few angles here. It's really nice to have a bunch of different angles to look at it. Great work by Devin Beard.
Absolutely. Looks like the 42 car right there was involved. Maybe a tap from behind. Yeah, that was Alexander Kognek that got involved there. Just went up right with the 88 and wasn't really clear. Let's take an onboard ride, though. Right there, you saw the view of Greg Dale, who got involved in that wreck. But, man, that's a big wreck to happen so early, but do you think that's the big one? Because I'm not so sure.
You're not supposed to say that.
Not
during the race, but I guess, I don't know, does it work after it happens? There we go. We're seeing a little bit of the action there as he just doing spin after spin after spin. Alexander Cognac, he was in the Cavassier car last week. Looks like he's sporting a different livery this time. So it's he was involved early last, but he was up the front. So we'll see if he can rebound. But that looked like a fun ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of roller coaster or amusement park rides. I might have been throwing up inside that car as it spun around like a top. But right now, our leader, Dalton Kilrow, might have been a little bit spooked by that wreck and said, all right, I've led my laps. I want to just chill at the back here. He comes down pit road. He's going to get just packed full of fuel and back out on track.
Yeah, definitely. The fuel mileage is going to start to play a key role here. We're 7 laps, 8 laps into this one. I don't think it's a bad idea to top off right now, especially if everybody around you is doing it. You're not really doing it for tires. I think with 57 laps, you're just going to go ahead and use the set of tires you got. So it's all about fuel strategy at this point. Somebody actually pulled off in the back. I don't know if they're having network connections or what, but I saw somebody just happen to pull down from the pit lane exit and they were flashing. Looks like it may have been JT Poole.
Hopefully that isn't the case, though. You never want to see someone taken out of a race due to connection issues here on iRacing. That's why we say it's about as real as you can get without putting on a fire suit, though you mentioned earlier you had one on, so we have that there. But yeah, it's very unfortunate when the network issues start to impact your racing. We're getting word, though, that the Rees in the race are father and son. We're not sure who the older one is, but that's also another combination you don't want to see when you're looking in your rear view. The father and son combination probably a little more likely to work together than wreck each other. So we'll see if the father pushes the son to the win or what will happen here coming up in the future. That's an interesting combination here, and I'm excited to watch it play out.
Yeah, it's always fun to race with your dad. My dad actually is thinking about getting into sim racing, and he's asking me all those kind of questions, and I said it's one of those things where if the bug bites you, forget it, you're done. And it happened to me about 6 months ago, and it's been downhill ever since, or uphill, or however you want to look at it. I've been enjoying it, and I encourage anybody who hasn't tried it to definitely give it a whirl. It's really something that'll take hold of you.
You know, it's quite the pickup line to be able to say to someone, hey, you want to come back to my place? I got an iRacing subscription and a brand new Thrustmaster TMX, let me tell you.
You had me at Thrustmaster.
That could be interpreted many different ways, and we are going to go ahead and segue to somewhere else here, away from Thrustmaster. Maybe that's your new nickname, Italian Stallion.
Oh, man, I have enough nicknames. If you want to add that one on there, so be it. Let's do it. Anyway, back on the race. So let me recap this top five here as they come out of the pits. We got Tony Edmondson, a familiar name that we've seen a few races up front, followed by Tyler Fody and Johnny Brogue. We were looking at the back of his car in practice. And Presley Sora, who we mentioned previously at the beginning of the race, he's where we would expect to see him. And then rounding out the top five, we got Emmanuel Lopez. All these guys running up early, got a full tank of fuel. I think they all pit, and we'll just have to see where it goes.
We've got a lot of big movers this race. Kevin Kittleman caught my eye from 29th all the way up to 7th. 31st to 10th is Alan Wilson the third. 32nd to 13th is Nicholas Rees, one of the Rees father-son combination that we were discussing earlier, running the Sim Races for Mental Health paint scheme there. Very good-looking car, the 36 is. I've heard that green on a race car is bad luck, but we'll see how it plays out tonight. Unfortunately, someone that's moving back is Abigail Winters, third and second, all the way back to 15th now. Maybe a little bit of strategy, so just fall a little bit further back in the pack, let the accidents happen, because we saw the last one happen right at the front of the field. Who knows? Maybe the back is the place to be this race.
Hey, I don't know if you could tell me this, Jeff, but I saw that 46 drop a little low and hit that blue cone. Is there any penalty for that?
Just crimes against cone manatee, I guess.
Okay, fair enough, because it looked rather intentional. And okay, I saw him do that, and I was wondering, I was like, the top three, I didn't know if they were going to give him, if iRacing has a penalty for hitting that cone, because I know they're pretty sensitive about that blue line.
No, I don't believe there's any penalty for that sort of thing, but it's just, what did the cone ever do to him? And I saw him blink a little bit there, so the internet gods may be upset that their blue cone brother was hurt, I guess. We do have confirmation that number 90 is the father in the duo. Chris Rees is the older of the two, and he's showing Nicholas Rees how it's done. But right now, they're sitting 12th and 13th, so let's see if they can work together here on the restart.
Yeah, I wonder if they're sitting next to each other, or if they're, a country apart and just over the internet, but it's cool to see a dad and a son race together.
It certainly is. I don't think my dad would ever be much for sim racing. He's tried it once before, and he said that's a lot of concentration, and that's all he had to say about it. I think it was an IndyCar at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, though, so I could have been a little bit nicer in the track combination.
You couldn't have let him start at Talladega?
No, that's too easy. That's too easy. I mean, I gotta make myself look good, right? That's the whole key to it.
Yeah, you should have set up a race with some Indy cars at maybe Myrtle Beach or something. I'm sure he would have loved it then.
Oh, that's a good choice. Yeah, put him at the Nürburgring.
No, that's too fun. Then you really feel like a racer there.
I know my brother does a lot of racing instead. He's more on the stock car side. I race a lot of the wheel-in modifieds and things like that. So if you're ever looking for some short track action, go ahead down to the wheel-in modifieds there. If anyone watching is looking for a good short track series to run, the wheel-in mods here on iRacing are very competitive.
Yeah, Jeff, I myself, I'm more of a big oval, actually probably more of a stock car, and I like to run the open wheelers on the ovals too. That's fun. That's just a lot of speed. We've actually run the Indy cars here at Talladega, and that's mind-blowing. It's just one of those things where you just hold on and see what happens.
You know, I think I've actually done one of those races once before, and it was absolute mayhem. I think I managed about 10 laps, and I was sweating, like physically sweating in real life. I also noticed that in the iRacing Indy cars, I have to bump my driver height up like an inch and a half in order to see anything. So I don't know if that's like a common issue or if I just feel short in the sim.
Well, they look good with those windscreens. A little bit less vision obstruction. I like the clear windscreen. It's on the real one, so it's on ours, and I like it better than the older version for sure. But anyway, we're not running Indy. We're running some stock cars here, so we'll go ahead. I think we really need to go green here very soon.
Oh, I know. It's about 10 minutes per caution here at Talladega Superspeedway is the last calculation that I saw. You see the 46 Johnny Brugg right behind that 40 car. He's 43 car, excuse me, or the 40 car. I was right the first time. The 40 car is going to be on the inside here. That 46 is just going to be waiting until they go and going to give as good a push as he possibly can to Tyler Cody in that 40 car. Let's see who gets the advantage with the green flag out.
And Tony Edmondson from the outside line, choosing to start from the outside line. He went to the inside, but a lot of help both ways, top and bottom line. Good start, clean start. Let's see these guys get away.
Presley Sora had room to move down to the bottom and opted not to take it. I think Tony Edmondson waited and tried to pull him clear, but Presley Sora didn't take it. I guess he wanted to make a run for the lead on his own up on the outside. The 3 car now giving him a good push. That's Lawrence Shaughnessy. Started 27th and is now pushing the outside line, trying to get that run going.
Yeah, we see these guys snaking back and forth. Ooh, somebody from the inside going out to the outside. That's always dangerous. Must have got a good call from the spotter. But if you just look down from the front of these guys, if you were to look from the front all the way to the back, you would see it's just a snake back and forth, trying to catch that draft. It's fun at this point. You're just riding the guy in front of you. Just look how close they are. You wouldn't drive 55 miles an hour that close to someone, let alone 200.
Oh, I know. They are driving closer than most people park right now. They are side by side for the lead. Presley Sora trying to get that outside line rolling. I'm not sure if they've got enough steam right now. It's very, very difficult on the outside to make a pass. Usually after about 20 laps or so when the tires are more worn in, that's where you see the outside line starting to roll. But right now, they're struggling to just get that even with the guys in front, let alone pass them.
Yeah, Presley Sora in that Indy Auto Sport 98, he's trying to get that push, and you can see when the track straightens out, that high line gets that little bit of a push. It's interesting to see how much they move on that backstretch, but there's still more cars on the inside. So right now they have the push. Oh, a little bit of a wobble from Edmondson. That was worrisome.
A little bit of a wobble. Everybody holds on, though. These are some very, very talented drivers. We're starting to see 2 packs form, with the leader of the second one being Abigail. She is doing a fantastic job leading the pack. Got a little bit of space. Got the Patrick Hoja machine behind her. Right now, they are sitting right between the 2 packs. Actually, they managed to pull away. But I think that's the smart move, is you want to be far enough away from that lead pack that if the wreck happens, you can avoid any major issues. You also want to be close enough to get up close to them if you need to make a run for it, a long green flag run. But they are 3 wide entering the trioval.
Right, and we see Presley Sora on the outside trying to make it stick. He can't come to the bottom. He knows that he was down there. Oh, Edmondson's being stubborn on that inside line. Sora was a real good push on the outside line. He almost had it. He just needed another half a car length, and he'd be able. We got a caution out. They're spinning in the back, somewhere in the back. Let me take a look here and try to figure out exactly who that was, but I saw somebody at the tail end of 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 that pack, and they were spinning.
Yeah, I'm not sure on where that wreck was, but it was a little bit further back. That puts Presley Sora to the lead last time on 21 points.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, a big collision there sends him spinning after contact with the wall.
Yeah, he may have had help.
Man.
Looking back from Greg Dale again. Oh. Yeah, it did look like, I mean, anybody that would make a straight right-hand turn on a left, I would think could have help. I don't think that anything breaks on these cars as far as any kind of steering mechanism. So I would definitely think that he had a little bit of help. Now we're kind of seeing it back. There's definitely something there, but yeah, it's not a single car accident. I think somebody got away with something there.
Well, we will see what it was there if race control decides to make any decisions on it. But a hard hit for that 07 car, getting pushed around by a friend. That's a good friend right there, but you can see how badly damaged that car is. It's at about a 45-degree angle, it looked like, through the turn, just trying to drive this car, hold on to it. But the 5 car being a good friend, helping them get around. They do have a fast repair, so they can go down, get that fixed up. Now, if they pit here, I don't think they have enough fuel to make it to the end. They shouldn't, because there's about 40 laps left, so I don't believe they have enough fuel. Still expect to see one more pit stop, but I anticipate a lot of people will be coming down pit road.
Yeah, I'm watching Isabella come in, and he's just trying to get to his pit stall. We do have some takers. It did look like about the first, I don't know, 10, 12 cars opted to stay out.
I'm surprised by that. If I'm one of those front guys, I'm going to come down, at least take fuel, but at the same time, I understand wanting to keep the track position. It's a gamble at this point that you're anticipating at least one more caution, and you should be able to make it to the end. I say should, because if there's a green-white-checkered or anything else like that, you're going to have a whole other host of issues. So usually about 30 to 35 laps is a safe gamble for how much fuel you can have in these tanks. So we'll have to see. We'll see if they're saving fuel under caution. The best way to do that, you drop the car into 4th gear and you shut it off when you're not on the gas.
Yeah, a little bit of old school NASCAR gas saving. Even the banking, they say, helps the fuel get into the pickup. So it's one of those things where you could save yourself just the right amount of gas to get this thing around one more time.
There have been a lot of times that I have run out of fuel coming to the line, and it's heartbreaking. When you come off of turn 4 and your foot's to the floor and you hear the engine start to kick back and it shuts off and then it kicks right back on, you're going, oh no, not now of any time. And usually it depends on how nice of a person you are, if you inform the person behind you that you're running out of fuel. Because if you don't, maybe they'll get into you and push you a little bit and try not to go around you, but if they know you're out of fuel, they're going to just jump out of line and leave you hanging.
Oh yeah, it's the worst feeling, especially when you get that first sputter, because everything goes through your head. You said, no, don't do this to me, but you know it's coming. It's not like it's going to just roar back to life after it. But just letting you know, Jeff, got my ear to the ground with some radio going on, and it's like a couple people aren't very happy about the way the restarts have been going. It seems like a few drivers are voicing their opinion that there may not be a straight step on the gas and go type of restart going on.
Well, that's the advantage of being one of the leaders here, is you can start to play those games, and if you're the leader, what you might want to do is start up on the outside line. You control the start, so you hit the gas and go, and you dive down in front of the inside line. You don't want to get too far ahead, otherwise you'll just get freight trained. But if you time it right, you can just get down in front of that inside line, and you're pretty much safe here. Once you're leading that inside line, we've seen that it's been hard to pass on the outside.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a little bit of passion in some of these races, a little bit of rivalries going on. I don't mind seeing some tempers. I wouldn't mind seeing more of it, honestly.
As long as it doesn't result in any broken race cars, man, that is all good stuff. But right now, they're just sitting around pacing under caution. And what's really interesting under these caution conditions is you have to remember, these aren't machines out there that are driving. These are real people behind the wheel, and they're getting frustrated. They're getting tired. It's late at night for some of these guys over on the East Coast. They're they're just getting anxious. They're waiting and waiting to go back green. And there's so much that goes through your head under these long caution laps. It's about 2 minutes a lap here under caution. And there's just so much that goes through your head. And the biggest thing here, most important thing, is keeping yourself under control under these cautions and not letting yourself get in your own head.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're riding around, especially a long track like Talladega like this, you're right. It's a bunch of mind games. You start scrubbing your tires, not necessarily because you're doing much. I mean, realistically, you're not, but it's just keeping yourself occupied. It's keeping yourself focused. It takes a lot to wind yourself up and get ready to go for the initial green flag. And when you have to kind of spool up and do it over and over, you're right. It does wear you out a bit.
It certainly does. And like you said, it's like we mentioned earlier, it's a game of chess. It's a 205 mile an hour game of chess. And it's really, really difficult to win, obviously, because you got 42 other people out there that are trying to win this race. And only one person can. And it's like we mentioned, you don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to put down the fastest lap time. You have to be the first one to cross the line 55 times. And that's it.
Yeah, right. And you mentioned it real quick. I just want to give a shout out to this league. Got a full 43 car field. It's always good to see a league with nice attendance and a nice full field, and this one definitely seems to provide us with that. So I wanted to give a shout out to them real quick.
Absolutely. And this organization as a whole is absolutely phenomenal. Sim Racers for Mental Health. It's a great cause to be behind. Tonight's race is the Autism Awareness 250. But Sim Racers for Mental Health, they put on an event like this every single month. It's an honor to be a part of it, and it's a great group of people. I remember back a couple months ago when they were first starting up, I raced in actually one of their events, and it's just a great group. It's a ton of fun. So thank you to them for putting this event on, letting us be a part of it. Right now, we're seeing a lot of takers coming down to pit road. I think they're going to be topping off, but that also means we're coming to 2 to green here and getting ready to go back green flag racing.
Yeah, it's going to be good to be going back to green flag racing. Seems like we could use a few more of those green flag lats. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they're just topping off. I think every time you stop, you're making that decision a little smaller, and you're reducing that margin for error. And I think any better way you can go about strategy is the best way to go about it. And so right now you don't have to do what would you say, 54 laps? You don't have to do strategy for that. Now you have to do with 18 laps in. So what is that, about 40? So yeah, you're definitely setting yourself up for easier strategy calls.
I'm still not sure if they've got enough fuel here, but it'd be about 35 laps to the end of this race. So, man, 36 laps to the end of this race. It's very, very close when they go back green. They could make it. Theoretically, they could make it as long as they're not leading where they're on the gas the entire time and they've got air, someone blocking the air in front of them and they have to lift on occasion. I think we could see someone make it to the end. Tires aren't a huge factor here. So having enough fuel here, just at lap 18, it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, I think it's rather ambitious too to think that we may go from here to green. Not taking anything away from these guys. These guys are all skilled drivers, but again, it's Talladega. Things happen. So it'd be nice to see a nice long green flag run, see some green flag pit stops, and see some things that really challenge these guys. But we'll see what we can get, and hopefully we can get some nice chunk of green going now.
Usually you see a caution or two towards the beginning where everyone's feeling anxious. They want to get up to the front, and then they sort of realize, okay, I need to take a step back. I've only got one fast repair, or I've already used my fast repair. But right now, they're coming down to the wire here. Reached the point where now we're getting close to halfway. We're just under halfway. So, you really got to start thinking about the end of the race. We say only 54 laps. It's a lot of time, but it's not all the time in the world,
Oh, yeah, and they got this agonizingly long crew up to the restart. You got that extra real estate beyond the tri-oval. It always makes that start at Talladega just that much more. Jeff, take it for us.
Right here, they are getting ready to come to the green flag. The 43 on the inside controls the start, waiting on that green flag, waiting. A green flag is out, and there they go. Maybe some more games as the inside line checks up, but they're 4 wide towards the back. Everybody fighting for every position. There's someone around, but it's off track.
They're around again.
Now
they're collected. Now there's another one of these. Another rough start. Cars everywhere. They're still wrecking in the back. I'm seeing. Oh God! Just hold the brake. Seeing
Oh
guys
my
just kind of
goodness.
backing into each other. I mean, really, it looks like almost the entire field seems to have sort a little bit of that one. Wow, that's a big one.
Right now, let's take a long overview shot of this restart, though. Once we get it working, of course. But right now, coming to the green, we've got an overhead view. Keep your eyes on that 3 car and the 11 car. They are right there at the bottom of your screen. Coming to the start, though, it's all checked up. Everyone's sort of trying to get everything going. 4 wide a little bit further back, but that's not where the trouble is. Keep your eye on that 3 car. Just snaps loose. Oh, no, he missed a shift. Oh, my goodness, he downshifted when he pulled the gear from 3rd. It's a straight pull down to 4th. Looks like he went from 3rd to 2nd, which is down and to the left, and
Oh,
blew the car up, and the 11
oh
had
wow,
nowhere to
that's
go.
unfortunate. And it happened in the front of the field. Oh, that's a bummer. I think we've all made that mistake. It's just a common error.
They call that the suicide shift, where it just goes and you try to pull it straight down to 4th, and it goes into 2nd. It's very easy to do. That's why I use paddle shifters, but taking another look, let's crank it up, and we'll just let you listen here.
We got rods all over the place, friends.
Well, there is oil all over the track. Now it's going to be some time for the cleanup crew. If you pit now at this point and you top off at the end of this caution, you'll certainly have enough fuel to make it to the end, I think. Let's go ahead and take a quick break here while we're under caution. Let's regroup, and maybe these guys will be a little bit more patient when they come back with just under 30 laps to go when they go back rate. Welcome back to the Sim Races for Mental Health Autism Awareness 250 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Right now, we've seen a lot of cars going at about 70 miles an hour versus the 205 that we've been expecting. Take a look at the team over here. You have me, Jeff McConey. Oh, now it's being covered by the Sim Races for Mental Health logo. Far more noble cause than us people here bringing it to you. They are great people. But right now, they are coming through turn 3 and about to exit turn 4 with the pace car about to dive off. It's going to be a good race to the end here. We're just under halfway. They are very, very close on fuel, so we'll see. That could come into play at the end here. If there's no caution, then right there at the end, we could see some people running out.
Yeah, Jeff, and something else to consider, a lot of guys were involved in that wreck, so a lot of fast repairs were used, so everybody's kind of on their last set of wheels now, so it counts. You bend that thing too much, you ain't coming back.
Right now, race control is making sure that everyone's playing by the rules and reminding them they have to keep their speed on these restarts. No more games, they are saying. Right here, the 43 leads the way. He's the control car on the inside line. He's got the 98 of Presley Sora right behind. Presley started in 9th. He's worked his way to 3rd right now. Waiting on that green flag. It's a long, slow crawl there. Like you mentioned earlier, the green flag is out. Right now, the inside line is moving. Presley Sora did not get a good start, though. The outside line is checked up and all the way towards the back. They're 4 wide.
Yeah, Jeff, looks like these guys are a little bit more prepared this time. They had a little sloppy start, but able to keep it off of one another this time. A lot cleaner this time. I say that somebody's around.
Looks like it's going to remain green, though, right now. These guys are still racing hard. They're 3 wide a bit further back, but up at the front, right there, the 98 is right on the back bumper of the 43, pushing it with all he's got, but the 40 and the 46 up on the outside are doing everything they can to get a good run going, but we've seen the outside struggle here tonight. Let's see if the 40 car, Tyler Cody, can make it work with Johnny Brugg pushing him.
Yeah, we see Tony Edmondson just holding that bottom line, saying, pass me on the outside. He's definitely whoever's going to go around him, he's making him work for it.
You have to do that here. You can't give away any position as we see a 6-car breakaway up towards the front. Excuse me, a 5-car breakaway up towards the front. You see the 6 cars kind of skirting back a little bit. That's about 8 car lengths to that 6th place car. Maybe a bit of strategy, but right there, they are really fanning out and doing everything they can. They think about going 3 wide, and they choose to. The 46 stays loyal to Tyler in the 40 car. Right now, Presley Sora is the odd man out in the middle with no help. Maybe that 83 car will jump up.
Oh, yeah, we see him 3 wide up at the front. This is definitely risky behavior. I want to kind of tell him to be a little bit more patient here. And Edmondson, he caught a rough patch of air there. He's losing some positions. He wasn't first last lap.
Yeah, he jumped up to the outside to block the outside lane when it didn't have a run, and it ended up giving them a run. So right now, you see them 2 wide up at the front. Everybody's getting back in line. The mid-pack has caught up to the leaders now, though. That could be interesting. When these guys get a full head of steam, they could try and carry that momentum. But let's take a ride on board here with Reese. He's the leader, and you just see nothing except that 2nd place car of Presley Sora, who's pushing it with everything he's got.
Yeah, representing that Reese clan tonight with the 2 of them in tonight's race. He's now the one that's on the inside. We see Edmondson fighting. He's trying to get a little bit of a group going behind him to try to get that push around that backstretch on that outside. Good racing up front. Looks like they've settled down a little bit.
The father is showing the way, not just for his son, but for everyone else around here, leading the inside line. Tony Edmondson had him by a nose there at the beginning. He's clear, kind of, sort of, not really. If he's aggressive, he'll drop down. Chooses not to, though, but leading the inside line is Chris Rees, and he is doing everything he can, but that outside line's got momentum. They are 5 cars long.
Yeah, and there we go. We see Edmondson tucking himself on the inside, regaining that lead. He's taking Rees with him, and Fody right behind, trying to keep up with these guys at the front.
Nicholas Rees is having a bit of a rougher night, so right now Dad is off to carry on the legacy. Run up near the front, and he's got the outside line rolling now. He doesn't want to sit and push anybody. Jumps up in front of the 40. Don't think he's going to be able to get the run going here, but they're 3 wide a little bit further back. The outside line is really starting to work here. People are trying it out. They've got the space here at Talladega Superspeedway to go up there, but we'll see if it's effective, as it looks like it's dying out.
Yeah, these guys definitely testing their own and each other's skill. We got contact in the back, cars around, they're wrecking.
There goes half the field right now. Remember, only one fast repair for these guys, so we'll see who's run out right now. But a lot of cars involved there. Just a little bit of contact can really send a lot of cars going. Let's see if we can't get a replay going. I think that was the 42 that was involved at the start.
Yeah, I know for sure that the 22 of Emmanuel Lopez, he got a piece of it somewhere.
The 22 car of Emmanuel Lopez just got into the left rear quarter panel of the 42, sent him around, and just mayhem from there. The only place to go is down to that big wide stretch at the bottom. Looks like a lot of people got through. Man, who is that barely got by Zachary Bosnick? Oh my goodness, I don't even know who that was. Barely scraped by. That was the 3 car.
Yeah, he started to be involved with the previous accidents, so he definitely was probably down to his last fast repair. And I'm telling you, we're not going to see a lot of these guys come back because I'm sure they were down to their final, and they're not going to get around Talladega with any kind of damage that would have been caused from that wreck. That was pretty big.
Certainly not. I'm amazed at that 3 car squeaking his way through. I don't know if he didn't hear that there was a caution or just didn't feel like lifting off the gas, but we'll see if we can get right there. He just barely managed to squeak his way through.
Yeah, the Cole Trickle School of Wreck Avoidance in full display. Lawrence Shaughnessy, wow. He had him going every which way. Check him out, making it through that wreck unscathed. Good for him.
He was involved in the last wreck after he downshifted instead of upshifting, and man, that's quite a comeback though, to just go there and drive his way through. Now they will certainly have enough fuel to make it to the end. They are past halfway at this point, so coming down to pit, you take some fuel and you can make it to the end.
Yeah, now you can, and we saw a great shot of Sora coming in, getting that car woed down to make it down this pit lane. Long stretch, making sure you find your box. It's key. This could be the last stop. You got to make sure you're in one time. You don't want to have to reverse. You don't want to miss your box. Obviously, you don't want to miss it. Get in clean. Some of these guys are taking tires. That is not something I was expecting to see, but some of these guys took some right side tires. Some of them are taking 4. Wow, I was not expecting to see 4 tires on pit road.
Neither was I. That's an interesting call, but if you're going to pack it full of fuel, you might as well take 4 tires, I suppose, as right now these guys are coming back out. Tires don't make a huge difference here at Talladega Superspeedway. They are certainly not the end-all, be-all. And being on fresh tires, it can help you make some gutsier moves, but it's not a necessity. You can survive on the same set of tires for all 54 laps here. I'm surprised by that move, but right now, 25 laps to go.
Jeff, look at some of these position gains. We got Wester Green, 37 positions up. Not far behind Wheeler and Tenery. These guys 30, 32 positions. Mogard up 24, Kaufman up 26. And these guys were running in the back. Now they're up front, taking advantage of some of these guys getting some of those tires. This field's about to tighten up.
It certainly is. You have all different strategies here for this race. And now that we're sort of near the end here, we're over halfway, only 25 more trips around this track. Man, you really need to start making moves. So I think staying out here, if you've got enough fuel to make it to the end, or you suspect you have enough fuel to make it to the end, just stay out, get the track position, and run near the front. You might as well, especially if you have another fast repair.
Yeah, Jeff, the pure definition of a shootout. You're not worried about gas. You're not worried about tires. You're just worried about pinning it and going and hoping you are avoiding all the madness and end up out front when everything is done.
That is the key. You don't need to lead every lap. You only need to lead the last one. That's it. But to do that, you have to survive until the end. We haven't seen any wrecks that are too big. The first one was pretty big, but we'll see how these guys choose to end out the race. Most of them have gone through a fast repair already. Some of them might have accidentally used one without even realizing it. So if they get involved in a wreck, they could go down pit road and realize, oh my gosh, I used my fast repair without even realizing it. So we'll see if that was a mistake that anyone's made here tonight. This is going to be good.
Yeah, we mentioned that at the beginning of the broadcast. That's the worst. That makes you feel terrible because now you're going back up. Now you're rethinking the whole strategy because you were feeling good about yourself. You go into the pits and you look and you see that there's a 0 next to that checkbox and you just look at yourself and you said, this race is over.
You can get through these races sometimes without having to use that fast repair, but it's a nice little crutch to have, a nice little safety net. Some people say it encourages more reckless driving. I'm not quite sure I buy that. I think everyone's out there to win this race. So right there, you see the former leader, Tony Edmondson. He's all the way back to 15th now. How's he going to be able to work his way up through the field after pitting? Like you said, though, David Westergreen, the big mover here tonight, up 37 spots. That's absolutely phenomenal. And when you got a guy that's carrying that much momentum and feeling that good after getting so many positions gained, you might see them make a big move here if they see the opportunity to.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a couple of these guys toward the rear of the field, probably around, the high 30s. They got some damage on them, so definitely indicative of some guys not having any more fast repairs. I don't think any of them will be a factor, but it's something to consider. I'm sure a few of these guys up front are still good. They still have one because they haven't been involved with much, but a lot of the field is on their last legs here. Can't make a mistake, can't put it around, your night's going to be over.
That's probably the worst feeling in the world. Like you said, just you getting involved in another wreck, and usually it's not even your fault, and you're just out of fast repairs, you're out of the race. But with 43 people here, that's a lot of people that need to be perfect. Man, it's tough out there. It really is tough when you've got so many cars on track. It only takes one person making one tiny mistake for it to all go wrong.
Yeah, Jeff, and going back to something you mentioned a few cautions ago, actually, it's one of those things about focus, because you want to be going, you want to have that throttle pinned, and you want your focus to be meaning something, and now you're just kind of trying to stay in the race. Like you said, it's could be late for some of these guys, just trying to keep your eyes on the road. It can get a little fatiguing with all these caution laps.
Certainly can get fatiguing with all these caution laps, but also keep in mind it's 11:37 p.m. out on the East Coast, and some of these guys might be tired. They might be racing out there. So at that point as well, you have to consider that these guys are starting to get tired. It's late at night, and they might make a mistake, and it's just there's so many tiny things that could go wrong. It's really frustrating out there when you're stuck under caution and not just being able to race. Right now, the 90 car, Chris Reese, is the father of the guy sitting up in fourth place, Nicholas Reese. He's up 28 spots. That 36 car, actually, it's got the 88 painted on the side. Or no, it doesn't. I'm sorry. That's the car in front of him. That's Matt Arcara. That actually is the 88. Excuse me. But Nicholas Reese in a very similar paint scheme to his father, Chris. Man, that's it's going to be a good race if those two get together. So we'll see what they're able to do here.
Yeah, and like I said, you see him going back and forth a little bit with the scrubbing of the tires, just trying to stay in it. Coming around for this next green flag run, you see those pace car lights are off, and you definitely want to pull it tight here. Make sure you're right up on the guy. This agonizing restart is something that's going to challenge even the best racer. Pull up to that guy up front, wait some more, and then pin the gas and start it all over again.
And make sure you don't miss a shift. That's also very important. Make sure you don't miss your shift.
Yeah, as we see, that could be quite detrimental to the stability of an engine.
But if you still have a fast repair, you can get back in this race. As we saw the 3 car, he worked his way through that last caution. Very interesting move to just drive through it. Right now we're seeing the 36. I think he's trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can. He's shutting off the engine and coasting backwards, but needs to get right up on that bumper. That second place car, Matthew Molnar, started in 16th all the way up to second now. We're seeing a lot of people that started at the back work their way forward, as we mentioned, but this 36 car, Nicholas, he needs to get right up on that back bumper and push for all he's worth if they're going to have a chance on the outside line.
Yeah, and I think it's on these guys that are up front. A couple names that I'm not very familiar with. I've covered a few of these races, so it doesn't mean that they haven't been racing. It's just something that I'm not quite... Oh, we got... What's going on up there?
Trouble. Nicholas Reed has major issues. I think we're going to delay the green, and they're still wrecking under caution.
Oh, what's going on?
My goodness.
I'm not...
So, it was, it was Nicholas Rees. He just... I don't know. You see the darndest things. I think he might have had some technical difficulties. You saw his wheel just lock straight, I think. I don't know if it came unplugged. It looks like it came unplugged and then immediately plugged itself right back in. So very, very strange incident here as they were getting ready to come to the green flag.
Yeah, some interesting Yeah, it's just it's got to be something technical. It does not look like something that anybody would do intentionally. It'd be interesting to see if we could somehow find out what happened to cause that. Obviously, a very unnatural looking accident.
Well, one more time under caution here. We're going to go around. That could prove very important to people that are saving fuel and worried about not having enough fuel. But yeah, based on the looks of it, looks like a hardware failure and just nothing you can really do about that. He's been told to park the car, though, and he will not be continuing in this race.
Yeah, and that's one of the inherent drawbacks, obviously, of the simulation of the racing. Again, in the real world, obviously, no car would ever come disconnected, or they have. We've seen stranger things happen under caution, but that's one of the things that as sim racers we kind of have to make sure it's like our cars. We got to make sure that our rigs and our computers are up, because one little thing can obviously cause something, especially at a place like Talladega. I mean, they're fortunate it was under yellow.
Yeah, if that were to happen under green, a whole lot of cars would have been a lot more torn up than that. I think the last thing that comes to mind to really even compare to that is the steering wheel not being fully locked on, where Dale Jr.'s steering wheel popped off and he just grabbed onto the steering shaft, and man, he somehow managed to make that work. But you can't really do that here in sim racing. When that wheel dies, that's it. But right now they're coming back towards the green. The pace car is getting ready to pull off, and then they make that long, slow crawl. So right now, that is a new face up there in fourth place. That's going to be John Vining, who is up there in fourth, going to push the 29 car with everything he's got to try and get that outside line to roll. But Dalton Kilrow controls the inside with Matt Arcara right behind him.
I mean, so Arcara was the recipient of a few bumps and bruises on the first time around with the caution. He used his fast repair. Now he's up in the third spot. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was watching the cars. Excellent start. Take it away, Jeff.
Well, these cars certainly are mesmerizing. The inside line doesn't seem to roll, and the 29 gets a great jump on the outside. He doesn't want to get too far ahead. He's going to try and cut down in front of the 41. Thinks about it, thinks better of it. He just was not clear in time. They're 3 wide, a bit further back. Everyone trying to get every position they can. They're 3 wide, 2 deep further back, but right now up for the lead. They are starting to get single file.
And we see David Westergreen up there all the way from the last starting spot, third place, running in that inside line. See somebody getting low, pulling out of traffic back there. He's going to drop back. I don't know who that was. So far, though, relatively clean on this first lap.
Looks like a bit of a strategy move right there. The 15 jumped up behind the 29. Not sure if those two are working together, but I would guess that it's true based on the paint schemes there being darn near identical. So they both made a simultaneous move to jump to the outside, and that 15 car is pushing the 29 with all its worth. I think we're going to see the 29 not go down until the 15 is clear. They're going to want to stay together, but pulling one car clear is hard enough, let alone two.
15 with a huge push on that 29 on that outside line. They're picking up some help. A few cars behind them. That outside line's about to start to make a move down this backstretch.
I think they're going to need a little bit more help, though. Right now, the 29 is clear, but the caution is out. I think Vincent Isabella was involved.
We were seeing some excellent racing up front. We were seeing that outside line make some moves. As a matter of fact, I'm interested to see who scored out front when that caution came out. It looks like Dalton Kilrow, followed right behind by Matt Molnar and John Vining, all the way up from 33rd spot in that third space.
That was the 90 car. Not a good night for the Rees father and son combination here. Nicholas having some hardware issues, and right there the 90 car just getting involved in that wreck. Just the slightest touch from the 50 car moving up sent him around and up into the wall. If he doesn't have another fast repair, that's going to end his night. Everyone was trying to avoid him.
Yeah, just letting you know, we saw Lawrence Shaughnessy was issued the black flag, just throwing that out there. He's out of this race. He was disqualified.
Very interesting call by race control. But right now, let's take a look at the replay, though. Actually, we took a look at the replay already, and you see the 90 car right now. He is sideways down pit road, and that car is very heavily damaged. Without a fast repair, his night is certainly over.
Yeah, and just taking a look back, I'm trying to see what what exactly caused the disqualification. It just looks like Lawrence Shaughnessy got a little easy. Yeah, I'm
The
curious to
90
what's going
car
on.
uses his fast repair, though. He will be able to continue this race right now. But yeah, that's an interesting story. The 3 car was already out of it, as he stated, but getting disqualified, coming up on that wreck, taking a look at it. Oh, same thing as last time. He just never lifted and got into the 92 car and pushed the 92 into the 90. So yeah, that's a lesson in always checking up for accidents and not just holding the throttle all the way through.
I think the term for that is ARCA brake, right, Jeff?
It certainly is, but he didn't even use the brakes there. That was very strange.
Yeah, so we're going to pace a few more laps here, and hopefully these guys can get it together. I think they really want to get a nice green flag run. As bad as we want to bring you guys a nice green flag run. Appreciate everybody sticking with us, trying to get these 54 laps in, hopefully on the good and the faster side with the remaining 18. And we'll see what we can do for you here. Hopefully we got somebody pulling off. A lot of weird things going off in this race right now.
A very strange race, but it's all for a good cause. The Sim Racers for Mental Health are putting this event on. It is the Autism Awareness 250, a very great group of people putting on solid events like this every single month. You can find them over on Facebook, the Sim Racers for Mental Health group. Thank you to them for organizing this event and making sure that it goes off in just the right way. So they're doing everything they can. They're not in control of, the drivers or anything else. Their job is to put on an event for a good cause, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, racing is racing, and that's what makes it so great. You never know what's going to happen, and just because it's been on the slower side, it doesn't mean it's not a good race. We've seen a lot of things go on, a lot of interesting things from a commentator standpoint to just see what was going on, and cars disappearing, cars wrecking under caution. It's actually been kind of a fun race to watch.
It certainly has. It's definitely enjoyable and having a good time up here in the booth. And right now, we've got 2 teammates up at the front. That's Matthew Molnar and John Vining. I'm assuming they're teammates. Otherwise, they just both happen to create identical paint schemes, which I guess theoretically that's possible, but more than likely these 2 are teammates. Now, I want to throw out a prediction on what I expect to see happen here. Matthew Molnar is the leader, the 29 car. I anticipate that he will take the outside line on this restart. Once the green flag comes out, the 15 will wait just a second, and the 29 will get a really good start and jump down in front of the 15. It'll be planned so that the 15 will let the 29 in, and those 2 are going to push like crazy to make sure the outside line can't get around them. That's my prediction. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's what I would do if I were in their position. I had a teammate right behind me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with what you said, Jeff, because I can't come up with something as details. And it's 12 minutes before my car turns into a pumpkin over here on the East Coast. So my brain isn't working like that strategically. So let's see what happens.
Unfortunately, I'm a college student. As John Vining pulls off the track right now, he's stopped off track at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at an old replay that you mentioned earlier that he was off track. Never mind me. Yeah, man, oh man.
What college do you go to? Might not want to consider that one for my future kids.
I don't want to admit it here because I'll make them look bad. I go to Purdue University. I spend most of my time out there. So if any Boilermakers are out there, boiler up, hammer down. You all know how it is, but I'm used to staying up late at night. This time yesterday I was working on thermodynamics homework. And you know what's actually interesting about 300 level thermodynamics?
Yeah.
No, absolutely nothing is interesting about it. That was right after finishing up my fluid power homework. You know what's interesting about fluid power homework at 11 at night?
I'm not sure, Jeff. Why don't you tell me what is... I can't even remember what it was. What kind of homework was it?
Nothing. It was fluid power homework. Nothing is interesting about it, but I'll tell you what. With all these classes now online, I guess the one good thing to come out of this whole coronavirus pandemic, my grades are through the roof. I also didn't realize how much $15 a month can get you with a Chegg subscription. My grades have never been higher. The last 3 exams I've taken have been a 100, a 100, and a 98. So, I mean, this coronavirus pandemic isn't all bad. I guess there's some light at the end of the tunnel, which is my GPA will be through the roof at the end of this semester.
Well, we're glad we're accomplishing something for you, Jeff. So as long as everybody's practicing proper social distancing and you're getting good grades, all is right in the world.
Exactly. Now you're starting to get it. It's all coming together here now. We also do have an update on the Nicholas Reese machine. he had a technical issue. It wasn't with his wheel, it was with his TV. So the monitor he was using actually shut off. He couldn't see anything, and all you can do at that point is try and get it turned back on. But man, that's a very difficult situation and unfortunate to see. And right there, you saw the 90 car get tapped and go around. So he is now out of his fast repair. We'll see if he can get back up to the front of the field, though.
Man, it truly is a testament to how big Talladega is. The guy's TV comes unconnected. He gets up, puts it back in, and what? He's only a lap down?
Yeah, well, actually, I believe he's been parked for this session, unfortunately. But
Oh,
like you
okay.
said, it was only, not even a full lap here that he was back ready to go. But unfortunately, he is behind the wall.
Yeah, so as we take everybody with us on this odyssey known as caution number 5, it's just wonderful to be bringing this race to everybody. I'm hoping that we can get some serious green flag shootout action going for you. I think these guys can do it, and I'm pulling for them.
Absolutely. They're going to be coming back to the green here with 15 laps to go. Sounds like a lot, but when you need to start making moves here at Talladega and working your way up through the field, that's not a lot of time. So 15 laps, expect to see the people at the back starting to make big moves. We could see some 3-wide racing here, and just hopefully it stays green so that everyone will get a good chance here. But if we need to, I believe we have the green-white-checkered.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know the rule book was back way, I think, on notebook 1 of material that I've used tonight, so I'm not going to go dig that up. Maybe you got that in front of you. But I think they do at least one green-white-checkered flag tonight.
Right now, though, I guess my theory was incorrect about Matthew Molnar taking the outside. He is down on the inside, so maybe the 15 will be given the lead here. I'm not really sure what the strategy is, but I can assume we'll see these two teammates working together. Those two identical paint schemes are looking awfully good at the front of the field.
I wonder if they are archers, and I wonder if they are, in fact, brothers.
Maybe. I suppose it's possible, but we'll never know. Maybe they are, did you say archery teammates?
I don't know. There's a nice red Archer, looks like, on the hood of that car, alongside of some Archer Brothers logo there. And yes, I'm giving them a shameless plug for this caution. They have 2 cars up front. They deserve a little bit of pub, little bit.
Now it all makes sense. I'm sitting here going, well, maybe they're 2 brothers with different last names. I don't know. And I guess maybe they do archery. I must have missed that in the pre-race meeting. But no, now it all makes sense. But the 15 is slowing down the outside line quite a bit. They're an entire car length behind right now, and they've been told by race control to shape up and not pull any more games. 15 laps to go here. Let's see who gets a good jump there on that long, slow crawl down the front stretch. The 29 gets the good jump. The 15 goes as well. He's going to try and slip in. He's got the room to do so. He's there. But that's a big lead there for the 29 car, Matthew Molnar. You don't want to be too far in front here. Could give the outside line a chance to jump in front.
Well, there's like phase 1 of the plan is complete. Get everybody separated. Get front bumper to rear bumper. Now they got to do phase 2 and keep everybody behind them. I don't know. There's a big run from that outside. 2-car push. Look at that movement they have with only 2 cars.
That's phenomenal. That is great teamwork there. It looks like the 98 of Sora. He's just been doing a great job pushing all race. That's Presley Sora out there. He's been absolutely killing it, pushing everyone out here. Phenomenal job. He's just an inch off that back bumper of the 40, which is right where you want to be going through the turns. Phenomenal job by him. Do not fall asleep on him this race. He's still a factor to win it.
Yeah, there's 6 cars in the bottom line and only 2 up top, and the 2 are just moving, and it's just unreal how they're going to get that push. Watch them on this backstretch. They're fading a little bit back now, but 2 cars, they're just going to push their way up to the front on this backstretch. I don't know how these guys are doing it.
I think that's Presley Sora using every bit of that engine that he's got under him and trying to take advantage of just a good run there. But you have to keep in mind, you have to watch your temperatures right there and not let them get too hot. Otherwise, you'll blow your engine right up.
Yeah, I think a few laps into this green flag run, not necessarily worried about the engine quite yet, but we got somebody, looks like they're joining the party on the outside, making that line 3 cars deep, maybe a couple more cars, and we might see some side-by-side racing finally this evening.
Hopefully this side-by-side racing stays clean. We've heard 3 be the magic number for cars to push here around the track, but that 46 car is trying to make something work. Johnny Brugger's been pushing a lot tonight. Presley Sora has been doing a phenomenal job, like you mentioned, pushing. The 15 tries to get some air on the bottom, and that's going to open up the door on the outside. The inside line is slowing way down. Presley Sora is now clear. They could go to the bottom. The 98 dives down. The 40 doesn't go. Man, that's Presley Sora to the lead on the inside line.
Oh, and we saw the two teammates just get left in the lurch. Everybody just drove right around them on the outside. That was unfortunate. Working together. They were leading as a team, and then they fell as a team. Interesting stuff.
I do have confirmation in the chat that Archer Brothers is the name of the team. That is the team name. They are not brothers themselves, but the team owners are. So now it all makes sense. The pieces of the puzzle fit together. And right now, sitting second and third on the inside line, both teammates, that's a pretty good place to be. You got to be a proud team owner if you're sitting there watching that.
Yeah, man, up front, you got your car logo out front. You got the commentators trying to figure out exactly what it is. That's what you want to do, right? Get people talking. But Presley Sora, he just went to the front. He's got his car on that yellow line. He's saying, now you can drive around me.
He's painting that double yellow line, keeping it glued to the bottom. We are coming to just 11 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway. That's still about 25 miles or so to make something happen. Actually, a little bit more, probably closer to 30 miles. Trying to make something happen here, but you're running low on time. 11 laps to go. Presley Sora with the lead by just a couple thousandths of a second.
Yeah, and these guys really racy right now. 10 laps to go. Finally letting it out, putting that throttle down, and actually running for a while. And it's something to see these guys. We got a lot of action going on. We're going to take a quick ride, go on board with him and see what this race looks like on the track.
We know how difficult it is to see in these cars when you're behind someone else. And right now, he's sort of stuck in the middle. He's got two cars ahead of him and lots of cars behind him. He doesn't really have any moves that he can make except jump up to the outside, and it's a bit early for that though. But you're coming to 10 to go. I think we're going to see that third lane get some views pretty soon here, Rocco. One car dives to the bottom. He's going to run out of room.
Yeah, definitely racy, but yes, of course, that third line, we're going to see someone's going to use it. Whether or not they're going to get through it, it doesn't matter at that point, but they're going to use it. Everybody right now, so many cars. We got the top, look at the top 18 cars separated by less than a second. These guys are pushing now.
Everybody wants to win this race, and like I said, you don't have to lead every lap. You only need to lead one, and that's the last one. Entering turn 3, we see someone up there on the outside. We have one taker, but they are going to be hung out to dry like the laundry. There's nobody that's going to join them. They're saying not quite yet. He didn't have the run going. Touches the wall, gets down, a big wreck at the back.
Oh, that's a hard hit. Oh, a couple hard hits back there. Yeah, it looked like somebody just got a little bit of a wall and took someone else with them when they came unstuck. Unfortunate back there. A couple hard. We'll take a look at Abby Winters here. I think she got a good portion of it or had something to do with it. We see that 7 car here. Middle line, got a car on the outside, just trying to squeeze through. See, unfortunately, she got stuck in the middle, and that's what we were talking about. Spun around. Yeah, she had some help too. I don't think this was Abby's fault. Really don't.
That was the 22 car of Emmanuel Lopez that was stuck up there on the outside. He just got hung out.
Oh, yeah, see, that's the car I saw hit. Yeah. She was just unfortunate. Had she been 2 feet ahead, she would have missed that. Unfortunately.
Let's take a ride on board with Emmanuel Lopez. Barely touches that wall, and once he touches it, it's going around, unfortunately. So able to kind of sort of hold on to it right there, but some front right damage, and a lot of front end damage right there.
Right, but everything is safe and the flaps deployed.
That is what matters. Nobody went flipping end over end. I did a race earlier tonight, Sean and I did, our director here, and we saw a lot of modifieds flipping, but we did not see any cars flipping here tonight, which is kind of surprising when you think about it.
Yeah, Jeff, we see a lot of flipping, a lot of spinning, a lot of juking and jiving and dancing and what out. These cars do a lot of funny things at Talladega, and they're forced to do a lot of funny things, but we got 9 laps to go. Just should set us up for a nice little run to the checkers here.
Juking and jiving and dancing. Are we in a 30s barn dance at the moment?
I'm not sure. I just got to come up with some of these things. Again, it's 12 o'clock. I have license to say whatever I want within reason. It is a family show.
There you go. I'm in the same position here. A couple of East Coast boys with Italian last names. right now. Well, it's clicked over past midnight, so we are allowed to say whatever we want. So we're going to start off with a couple swears. We're going to start off with...
And it seems that we lost our main commentary, Jeff. So either that or he was pulled. I'm not sure. That was a rather abrupt silence. So we see somebody go by on the outside. Yeah, I could take this from here. We got 8 laps to go, and I think Jeff is actually... Jeff, are you there? Are you good here?
I'm here. I cut myself off. Don't worry. That wasn't Sean bringing down the hammer on me to take me out. No, we're good people over here at the Global SimRacing Channel. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. We're having a good time up here in the booth. Everyone's enjoying themselves. We're right now sitting under caution, but everyone is just getting excited for the end here. It's going to be just a couple laps to go, under 10 to go here at the end. I think when we go back green, we're going to see about 6 laps to go, 5 laps to go. So it's going to be very, very interesting racing.
Yeah, we see a bunch of interesting camera angles from our director there, just kind of letting us know he's still on our toes, still doing everything he can to bring it to you as crisp and clean as possible. Good stuff there, Sean.
Many thanks again to the whole crew here at the Global SimRacing Channel. Dougie Beard for providing our camera, Sean Ambrose, our director, and then up here in the booth, you got me, Jeff McConey, alongside Rocco Stallone, who I've resorted to calling the Italian Stallion tonight. But we're having a good time here. Everyone's enjoying it. Thank you to the Sim Racers for Mental Health for putting this event on. They're a fantastic group. Thank you to them for it. And this is the Autism Awareness 250. We're having a good time out here.
Yeah, and such a great event. These guys do put on, you know, you can't say it enough. They put on so many good events, and it's all for it. It's just for awareness. It's always something different. They've raised awareness for a lot of different things, a lot of things that are in the forefront, a lot of things that maybe people never heard of, but always a good cause and always fun to bring it to everyone.
You are absolutely right. William Kruska is behind the scenes for this event. He's working race control. He organizes these events. So thank you to him for putting it on. Does a fantastic job. Every single month he puts on an event like this. It's a great group.
Yeah, so I'm looking to see. I think the pace car lights, are they off? Are we down to 1 to go here?
Unfortunately, they are not off quite yet. One to go is just a little bit further off. I know you're excited too. It's going to be a great 5-lap shootout to the end here, I think. So we'll have to see what happens here with only 5 laps that these guys were able to keep it green.
So Jeff, I know you're a racer. I know you do a lot of modifieds, but you ever run the Cup cars up here at Talladega? Got any interesting stories?
I had 1 week. There have been 2 times ever that I've had more than 5 wins in 1 week in official races. And I had 1 week here at Talladega where I had 7 wins in 1 week. I won in the Cup cars, fixed and open. I won B fixed in the Xfinity cars. I won trucks fixed, trucks open, and then, no, I won 2 truck races, 2 fixed truck races and 1 open one, and I won a K&N race. So that was the single best week I've ever had. Happened right here at Talladega Super Speedway. It was actually Justin Bonsignor that pushed me to the win in the K&N race. So that was pretty cool. For those of you that don't know, he is a NASCAR Wheel and Modified Series champion, driver of the number 51, and a very, very nice person. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him before in real life, and just a very nice guy, and he pushed me to the win in a K&N race year 1. So that's probably the highlight of my Talladega career. What about yourself?
Oh no, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Now we're even. Just so everybody knows, Jeff handed me a little piece of paper before the broadcast. He said if we get an extra minute to talk, I want to talk about myself. So there you go, Jeff. I just wanted to make sure you had that opportunity while we had these extra caution laps.
Man, well, I can't even respond to that. How am I? Man, I've been caught dead to rights. People over in the chat, you can form your own opinions on us. You can judge our life stories based on having never met us. You can do whatever you'd like here. Like we said, it's past 12 a.m. here on the East Coast. Anything goes. Happy Saturday, everybody. It is April 18th, 2020 here on the East Coast. And if you're not living in April 18th, 2020, man, you're just living in the past.
Oh, there we go. That's a good way to put it. Jeff, I'm going to kind of circle this back a little bit and talk about the cars that are up front. We got the first place being taken by Presley Sora. We knew he was going to be up front. We just didn't know how far up front he was going to be. Tyler Fode, another familiar name in these races. We've seen him up front many times. Matthew Molnar, who is one of the Archer brothers teammates, so we got all that taken care of. Johnny Brugg in 4th place. Again, we got that fiery red car, and then the teammate to Matthew Molnar right behind him in 5th spot, John Vinning. These guys are our top 5. A lot of guys back there gonna be pushing to the front, hoping that these 5 laps are gonna go by quick, but really good and fun stuff to watch.
Absolutely is a lot of fun to watch. Right now they are side by side, which means 1 to green. You see the 5 car going there to get his wave around, cruising up on the outside. I think we're going to see a couple more cars up on the outside. We're coming, and it's going to be 5 to go here at the line when they take the green flag. This is where things get crazy. This is where we could see another wreck where we are pretty sure they have another chance they have a chance at a green-white checkered should they need it. But I think they're going to end up keeping it clean here. I've got faith in these guys. Everyone wants to win the race, and they know they have to have a clean car in order to do it.
Yeah, and anything can happen. We've seen anything happen, and I'm expecting anything to happen. So just kind of pulling those belts tight, right? One more time. I'm going to invoke a little bit more of the Fox broadcast and in honor of our director who is explaining about his exploits. Very involved with iRacing, with thanks to him. But let's take this in. I'm about out of words here, Jeff. Let's do some green flag running.
I am right there with you. We've had to fill a lot of dead air tonight as these guys are trying to sort out who will be the first one to cross the line 55 times here tonight over the course of 54 laps. You don't have to lead every lap. You don't have to lead any lap except for the last one. You don't have to be the fastest car. You just have to be the first one to finish. Right now, they're beginning that long trek, and they've been warned multiple times not to play any more games on these restarts. We'll see who listens and who doesn't, as right now, Presley Sora leads the way on that inside line, that long, slow crawl. Doesn't want to get too far ahead of anyone. He's done a lot of pushing here tonight. I think he's tired of pushing and wants to be the leader. So he's going to come and lead the field to green. We're waiting, and the green flag is out, the outside line. The 46 gives a shove to the back bumper. One car dives all the way to the bottom. They're 3 wide. They get it all sorted underneath the double yellow. But my goodness, we're seeing the outside line form up with the 79 car with the 14 far behind. We'll see what they're able to do, but the front is forming up.
Yeah, a little bit of 3 wide action, about 5 or 6 rows back, getting a little dicey back there. Looks like they're falling in line, and we're seeing Presley Sora pull away. Oh, he gets a little bit of, he saves it. Oh wow, he got a good chunk of him. Matthew Molnar really got into the back of him, but no, that was some great driving by Sora. He kept it, he's still on that inside line. Wow, that was an exciting moment. Whew.
Talk about a wheel man, and right now everybody is wheeling it. The cars are slicing and dicing their way through the field. If you're not up here near the front, you need to get there in a hurry. So you see the 29 car of, oh my goodness, excuse me, Matthew Molnar up near the front, but as I say that, he's starting to fall back a little bit, and his teammate, John Vining, slips into second. We'll see, he jumps up in front of his teammate. The Archery brothers are in front, and a big block by Presley Sora checks up the outside. They could go 3 wide here. They think better of it. Presley Sora is blocking.
Wow, Presley Sora is all over the place. Both lines. He's really taking offense to anybody trying to get around him. He's driving that car like it's 3 lanes wide. Wow.
Well, he's 3 lanes wide and quick in all of them, or so he thinks right there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. taught him that move, I believe. But the 29 and the 15 are formed up on the outside. Those 2 are teammates, Archery brothers, and they are going to get to the front or die trying because they are doing everything they can. They are shoving through the tri-oval. That's a dangerous move, but 3 laps to go here at Talladega Super Speedway, and the Archery brothers have a nose.
Now they're right on each other. You don't want to spin your teammate. Just be good, guys. You got that help coming on that outside. Make this a good race. Oh, so much. Presley Sora just sticking to that yellow line saying, you are going to have to go around me on the outside, and they're saying, okay, we will. My God, this is good.
The 15 abandons his teammate up there. My goodness, I don't know if that was the call that was made. It was a strategy call, but the 15 jumps down in front of the 98. I imagine the 29 might have been heating up a little bit and worried about his temperatures. Right now, you don't want to blow your engine. You still need to make it to the end.
We got someone out in the back. Back, and maybe they throw the caution. They throw the caution. It's going to be, I think they're trying for green-white-checkered here. They're still wrecking back there. Wow, it's spinning all over the place.
A big wreck that looked to be the 79 car involved. He just made a big jump to the bottom of the Virginia Tech car. The 79, that is Tyler Dixon. No, I'm sorry, that was not Tyler Dixon. We have 2 79 cars. I'm sorry.
So we'll try to sort this out again. We'll try to figure out exactly where that started. A lot of dicing going. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happens. Look at the 79. He's still going straight here.
That was my bad. There is only 179 car. I apologize for that. He was the one involved right
Just
there.
got a little wide.
Oh, outside, yeah.
A little wide, took that wall, and unfortunately, sometimes when you release from that wall, you just get spit out, and that's the aftermath.
You touch that wall and you get pushed right back out and down the track. Very unfortunate incident. That brings us to a green-white checker. We have 3 attempts here tonight. Hopefully we don't need all 3 of them, though.
No, that's cool. I don't need to sleep. I don't think anybody needs to sleep. Let's do 3, Jeff. Why not?
Well, we'll see here. I don't know. I don't have anything in particular going on these next couple days. I'm locked up in quarantine along with the other 350 million people here in America. So let's enjoy some race cars going fast in circles and keep our director, Sean Ambrose, up all night long.
Absolutely. The other character I play in real life, I'm essential, so I must go to the office tomorrow. So one of those things where we just have to all get through this, right? So why not? Let's have some good time. I'm not essential here, but it's 3 times as fun.
You are absolutely right. Us non-essential workers that are sort of on the side here, well, we're just, I guess, enjoying the non-paid time off, or enjoying it as much as we can, I suppose. So everyone out there in the chat, we appreciate you tuning in here late at night. Thank you for being here. You are all very fantastic people. Right now, there are plenty of you tuning in to watching. What we want to know is, who do you think is going to take home this win? Because your opinion is just as valid and important as ours. So who do you think is going to take home this win? We saw Presley Sora get cut off there, so it's going to be awful interesting. You also got John Vining and Matthew Molnar starting 1st and 3rd, so they're going to rule the inside line.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages we have about bringing you in this format. We get to follow along with some of the people that are watching. You don't necessarily get to do that on a typical broadcast of a major sport. So it's a luxury we have and something we enjoy. So we encourage everybody to interact with us and let us know what you're thinking as we see that blue cone taking another beating. Wow, it must have been mean to somebody in a previous life. But as I was saying, yeah, interact with us. Let us know what you're thinking. It's always fun to hear what you guys got on your mind. So for sure, let us know what you think is going to happen and who's going to take this checker flag.
I don't like to gamble on these races, but man, those Archery brothers are looking strong. Those are 2 teammates that have worked really well together. And if you get them in the green-white-checkered shootout, you cannot forget about them. But Presley Sora has been strong all race, and he'll have Matakara right behind him in that 88, pushing him with all he's worth. Everyone wants to win this race, but we'll see how it goes at the end.
Yeah, and just sticking with the slight storyline we had going before, David Westergreen, he came all the way up from 43rd, running an 11th spot, in a good position to possibly take home a top 10. Now, he didn't put down a time. I'm not quite sure exactly why that was, but nevertheless, working his way from the final starting spot, running at 11th, and good position to finish well tonight.
You are absolutely right, and you can't even really count him out of the race. Sometimes people that are starting 11th can get a big move going. They jump up to the outside at the right time. Our pole sitter, the 41, Dalton Kilrow, is back there in 10th. Certainly not out of this race. You really can't count any of these guys out. Somebody could make a big move happen and get through the field.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff happen tonight, and I'm expecting to see a lot more in the next lap. I think these guys can do it. I think they'll take it away and go 2 green flags laps. I think we're going to get a good finish tonight. I think we're going to get what we earned tonight for sure.
Absolutely right. You get what you deserve, and right now, coming to the green-white-checkered, we will see who deserves to get this win. You have 2 teammates lined up on the bottom, but 2 very strong competitors up on the outside. Who will be able to come out on top? That is to be determined, but they are lining up now side by side, getting ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, Talladega is always fun, you know, and again, if you've never raced on iRacing, or if you've never done any kind of stock car racing, Talladega is a different animal. You really learn something about yourself when you actually get into the sim and you start running close with everybody. You really learn, and there's that moment when it happens when you say, you know what, I can run with these guys. And again, I've been touting it all night and saying how easy it is to get hooked, but Talladega and Daytona, those are definitely the tracks that keep people coming back for sure.
Absolutely. It's a track you love to hate. It's very, very frustrating when you get caught up in the wrecks and you're having a great night and just someone else's mistake catches you. But at the same time, when you're running well and everything's going your way and you're riding that high of a big run on the outside, there is no better feeling. So thank you to Sim Racers for Mental Health for organizing this event so that we can all experience it and watch along with these drivers. This is the Autism Awareness 250 coming down to a green-white-checkered finish.
Yeah, and it's funny what you think about during caution flags, because you're going through the race and you're saying, oh wow, and I got through that and I could have did this better, and I'm right up here with these guys. And then once that green flag comes down, it could change so quick. You could automatically be wrapped up in the wall or getting someone spun. So it's definitely something that we have to, as sim racers, endure, because there's been a lot of pace laps tonight, and you got to be respectful to the guy behind you, but obviously you want to win. So let's do it. I'm tired.
I know, I'm feeling you, but actually it looks like we're not going green quite yet. We were a little bit over anxious. They were lining up side by side and we said, oh great, they're going back green, but unfortunately they are not. Looking like one more lap around here, so give that another 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I was calling a race last week with none other than our own Joe Peak, and he got so excited on the last lap. He did his build up, and he called a finish, and there was still one lap to go. So it's always fun to do these, regardless of what's going on. But we love you, Joe.
Oh, we absolutely do. I called my first ever road race with him just a couple days ago on Monday, and Sean was there. And man, talk about someone that helped me through. Talk about two guys that helped me through. And I don't know too much about road racing, but they gave me the opportunity. I had an absolute blast, and it's a whole other animal going from road racing to now super speedways after coming off a short track race earlier tonight. All different kinds of racing here on iRacing. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, certainly look into it. You can get wheels for very affordable prices, a wheel and pedal set. The Thrustmaster TMX, which we discussed earlier there, Mr. Thrustmaster Rocco Stallone. And I hear there's a deal going on for G29 wheels for $250 using code William Byron. So if you are on the fence about getting involved in iRacing, there's plenty of avenues to do so, and it's well worth it here. There's something for everyone.
And that box is in the mail. Hopefully mine comes too. You beat me to it, though. You hear that? Send us free stuff, guys. Anyway, so we coming down the backstretch now. We could set it up for the green flag. You want to do that for us, Jeff?
We most certainly can. In the lead is the number 15 car, John Vining, who worked his way down in front of Presley Sora right before that caution came out. The 98 of Presley is going to be leading the outside line. He is chased by Matt Arcara, but Matthew Molnar is going to be positioned right behind his teammate in the number 15 car, John Vining is. So right now, I think that inside line is going to have the advantage. They're going to be in communication, and right when that 15 goes, you're going to see the 29 on his bumper, pushing him with everything he's got. And if they go green here just one time around, man, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Two teammates on the inside is just about anybody's worst nightmare to see if you're not on that team.
Yeah, Jeff, and just in case anybody is not familiar with it, the second that these guys hit that start-finish line after lap one, that field will freeze upon caution. So they got to get one green flag lap in for this one to count.
Right here, they are making that long, slow crawl down the front stretch through the tri-oval. They are just sitting and waiting. You see the 29 right on that back bumper of the 15, pushing him. He knows his teammate is behind him. He's going to do everything he can to get the win for the team, and right now they're going. The inside line is glued bumper to bumper. You could not separate them if you needed to, but the inside line is rolling. Presley Sora has a big lead over the guys behind him, which you think is good, but he's going to fall right back into their clutches and get steamrolled if he doesn't get help soon.
Yeah, a couple of guys in the back didn't get the greatest of starts. Definitely saying 2, 3, I'd say 5 cars that got away good. Half a lap to go. If they come around, this race counts. Guys ducking inside the yellow line right now. It's getting racy. Someone's around. Someone's around. See if they keep caution. No caution. He's by himself. He's not taking it. Shouldn't affect this run.
Because that car was off track, there's the caution. They're going to go for another attempt at a green-white checkered there. Let's see who is involved. Looks like the 22 of Emmanuel Lopez.
Yeah, and let's take a look and see if we can find that. We did see a single car accident going on. Did not bring out the caution. Then we did see the caution come out. We will try to figure out exactly who that was. Let's take another look at that here. We did see the 22, Manuel Lopez. Let's see what part of this he had in it. Oh, no, it actually looked like it happened a little bit ahead of him. Well, that was the initial one.
Yeah, that was the 22 of Emmanuel Lopez, just going down a little bit into Chris Rees, and just caused a wreck from there. I think that's going to be the end of the 22's night, as he's out of fast repairs. A lot of cars just nowhere to go and pilot into him, unfortunately.
Just taking a look here. It looks like the 14 Colton Knight. We haven't followed him much tonight. I'm not sure what his situation is with the fast repair, but he's coming down pit lane. Looks like currently the engine's blown. He's pulling in now, just following him, seeing what happens here. No, that car did not snap. Oh wait, he missed his pit box. No, that car did not go back together. He's done for the night. Let's see what else we got.
He is going to be done for the night. But right now, John Viney and Matthew Molnar scored first and second. So we'll see how they manage to make this restart work once we get up to it. This is green-white-checkered attempt number 2. They have a maximum of 3.
And again, just kind of taking a look through the field while we got the time. I got Tony Edmondson. He was running up front for a little bit. Scored 3 laps down in the pits. Looks like it doesn't even look like he's in the car, so I think he's done for the night. Yeah, so definitely a delay on him. Again, just trying to reach the field here. Manuel Lopez, he's sitting in his box. He's not moving. Austin Greer only showing a lap down. He's not moving. A couple guys calling it a night. Thomas Friedis, one of those guys. So, again, just looking through the back and seeing what we can actually find, see what happened. This field is a lot thinner than we started with. Just figuring out where everybody went. Looking like maybe there's 20 cars on track now. Maybe a better part of that.
Correct. There's 25 cars scored on the lead lap, but not all of them are out there still. Looks like 23 are on track, I believe, by my calculations, but I've been wrong before, many times before. So really, there's only 25 cars on the lead lap, though, out of 43 at the start. That's it's very difficult here. It's been a long race at the Talladega Superspeedway for the sim races for mental health, but they've done a great job putting this event on. It is the Autism Awareness 250. Thank you to them for putting on this event and for letting us be a part of it here. It's absolutely phenomenal, the work that they do. So if you want to find them over on Facebook, be sure to do so. That is the Sim Races for Mental Health. They are a great group that put on monthly events for things like this.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, it is just fun to bring these to us. We got a little bogged down with this one, a little, I think, with some of the cautions, but we still got a nice green flag finish ahead of us. Hopefully get a real winner to this race. The guys on track, we're talking up here about how, it's a little bit of a slow one, and then these guys, they got to stay focused. It's a challenge. They want to go, like you said, they don't want to be pacing as many laps, and that's what makes these things interesting. So one lap, hopefully get this one in. If not, we got one more attempt at it.
You are exactly right. They have 3 green-white-checkered attempts here. So they've gone through one already. They are currently on the second one, getting ready to go back green soon. And I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes for these guys, going through options in their head, figuring it out. A lot of these guys might be close on fuel. You have to consider that as well. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of people just being very careful. 3 green-white-checkers here, that's a long time. And if you run out of fuel on the front stretch here, or even in turns 1 and 2, you're not going to be able to make it to the backstretch if you're coasting it under caution.
Oh yeah, you got the 2.6 mile distance. That's every lap. That's another, and these things are designed to go right to the wire on fuel. So, usually caution laps are good for fuel mileage, but when you get so many of them, you really start to wonder. I still think these guys are probably on the better part at this point. I think if we do try a third one of these, I think that might actually come into play, believe it or not. But hopefully we don't get to that point and we just finish with a lot of fast race cars.
Yes, sir. You and I have what's known as a desire to go to sleep sometime. But right now we are cruising here at 12:30 in the morning, having a fantastic race here. We don't need to sleep until these race cars are done. Plus, we get to keep our director, Sean Ambrose, up all night with us. And that is the best prize of all, I think.
Yeah, I don't really feel bad for him. It's like 9:30 by him.
Oh, up in the mountains of California, living the life, but we're keeping him up late here.
That's all right. I know who wins this race already. He's got to wait 3 hours to find out.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he'll let us know in 3 hours. We'll get a message on Discord at 3, probably 4 in the morning our time. Oh, hey, did you hear who won? It was... We can edit that in, and if when we re-upload this entire broadcast for people to go back and watch, we can edit in the winner right there, just in a completely different monotone voice. We'll see. You never know. We might throw in a little bit of surprise there, but we're here to bring you great content here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. Right now, though, you have John Vining in first, Matthew Molnar in second, Tyler Foti in the 40 car in third, Brad Cross in the 20 car starting fourth, Johnny Brugg in fifth. Presley Sora has now fallen all the way back to sixth after running up there near the front. David Westergreen started dead last, and he's all the way up to seventh right now, so don't count him out at all. He had some technical issues, and that's why he didn't qualify. Started dead last, but right now, seventh place he's running. Sean Stevens is running 8. Matt Arcara in the 88 car started second on the outside line, now back in 9th, and Jamie Dobbs is currently sitting in 10th. Really, any one of those people can still win it. I wouldn't count pretty much anyone in the top 20 out completely per se, but I think we're going to see one of these Archery Brothers cars win it because they've just been so strong when they're working together all night.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that can end with an absolute melee up front, and then you have somebody that has been running mid-pack the whole race. They just punch through, they got nobody in front of them, and lo and behold, they just won a race. And you probably got about, I would say in that area, 7 or 8 guys that are hoping to do just that. You got about 10 guys up in front of them who don't want to let anybody by them. I don't think anybody's going to be given a lot of space here. And I just hope they keep it clean. I want to see these cars finish under green flag conditions. I think they do too. I think they want to give us a good show. And thanks for everybody for sticking with us tonight.
They absolutely do. These drivers want to put on a great show for all you amazing people that are watching. And we still want to know who you think is going to win it. There's some great conversation going on in the YouTube and Facebook chats right now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You people are great. You're fantastic. You help keep us going here. Sometimes we got to keep chugging along here at 12:30 in the morning. I know a lot of people have work tomorrow. We see the blue cone is getting beat up worse than anybody else out here, though, tonight. His car pulled off to the bottom there. It looks like he's going after the blue cone.
Just shenanigans.
Missed. It's absolute shenanigans, tomfoolery, and every other synonymous word that you can think of to describe the situation going on here. These guys are getting antsy. They want to go racing, and frankly, I think we're going to see a great run to the end here as they're getting ready to go back green.
So, who do you think wants to see this race finish more? The fans, us, or the blue cone?
I think the blue cone, he's just been getting beat up all night. You start to feel bad for him. He's got a wife and kids to go home to, and he's going to have a black eye and everything. Oh, it's sad to see. But the blue cone is certainly taking a beating here tonight. Thankfully, the yellow cone, though, he's not doing too bad. His brother over there in the blue cone is getting beat up, though.
Well, yeah, because they actually care about the yellow cone. They penalize you if you hit the yellow cone. The blue cone is just like, yeah, whatever. He just showed up one day. He's not part of the family.
Yeah, he's just sort of showed up one day and nobody really told him to leave, I guess. It's one of those stories where, you know, somebody shows up to the party and you're just too polite to tell them to go home. But right now they are coming back to the green. Race control has warned them once again, no tomfoolery or shenanigans, no hooligans acting out here at the start. They're getting ready. They're making that long crawl. The 29 and the 15 start side by side their teammates. What are we going to see from them, though? So the 29's starting to jump a little bit, but they're going to be dead even going down the front stretch here, and the 15 gets a good advantage on the inside, and the wide towards the back. Everybody's trying to make moves happen.
Yeah, and the 15, John Vinning hugging that yellow line, just pushing it and pinning it down. He's got a good 6-7 cars behind him, providing a good push. That outside line, only about 5 cars. Going to make a run up here on that backstretch. Maybe a threat if they can keep it going for a second green lap on that second time around on this backstretch.
The advantage to the inside line. They are strong. You have to wonder if the 29 is going to be blocking that outside line to make sure they don't get a run on his teammate there. But he has to make sure the 40 car doesn't get clear. Otherwise, he'll leave this teammate down there on the bottom. The 40 car will jump up to the outside line if he's clear. He does. He's not clear, though. Pushes the 29 up. He's hung out to dry right now. They are 3 wide for the lead. Advantage to the inside, but it looks like the middle line is going to lead that lap by 11 thousandths of a second. The outside lane is forming, but the white flag is out.
It counts now. Tyler Fody, we've seen him up here. We've seen him many times up here in these races. On the outside, side by side with 15, John Binning. It looks like that outside line getting a little bit of extra push on that backstretch. Coming into turn 3, Jeff. This is great.
I can't believe the 40 hasn't jumped down yet. They're 3 wide. They're all over the place. The 15 goes down to the bottom. The 40 gets turned. They're wrecking at the front. Who's going to make it through? Who's going to make it through? That looks like a 22 car. I'm not sure who that is exactly. That's Brad Cross. Brad Cross is going to win this race. Look at the car. It's absolutely destroyed. The front and the back are beat in. Started in 35th place, and he's worked his way all the way up to the front. I told you all at the beginning, you don't need to lead every lap. You need to lead the last lap. That's exactly what Brad Cross did. Worked his way through. I don't know if we can get a replay of that wreck there, but he just, I don't know. The Red Seas parted in front of him like Moses. And wow.
Yeah, I want to go on board with him for sure. I want to watch that from his view. Wow, good for you, Brad. Nice win. I thought that was somebody was just going to poke their nose through and say, here I am. Awesome to see this guy win this race. I'm so happy for him.
That was a fantastic win there for him. It's exactly like we said. You don't need to lead any lap except for the last one, and he led one lap tonight. And it was lap number 64 there at the end. Survived all the green-white checkers to get that win right there. He started in 35th place. He didn't qualify, start at the back, and now you're going to see him probably do some donuts and burnouts there at the line. A big win here, a late night race, and now he's doing burnouts and taking this car for a ride. Phenomenal win by him. He's earned this celebration.
Car looks like he ran this thing at a short track tonight. That's not what you usually see a winner at Talladega looking like at the end of the race.
Let's take a look at this replay. How he got through it is a mystery. Let us the car of Brad Cross. Taking a look with him, he's sort of sitting up there on the outside, pushing him through the car like crazy. Let's ride on board with him though. If he gets involved in this wreck,
turn him around.
Touch.
Did he?
Touch. That's all. But he didn't do anything wrong with it for sure, and just fighting their way through it. Looks like Ryan Decker and Jared Mogard also managed to find their way through. That's your top 3 for tonight.
Yeah, and just kind of watching this finish. Wasn't necessarily as possibly clean as we thought it was. Good for the people who came out though. That was hard fought, elbows out racing, and going to be a little feathers ruffled afterwards, and took out a lot of cars that I want to see how that final order was.
Well, your final order here. Let's take a quick break beforehand, and we will come back with a full lineup here at the end. thank you to the Sim Racers for Mental Health for putting on this event here tonight, the Autism Awareness 250. It was a fantastic race. There were a lot of cautions and a lot of thinking and discussion going on here for all these drivers. Let's give a rundown here, though. Brad Cross is your winner with Ryan Decker in second. Jared Mogard finishes third. William Kruska, the organizer for this event, finishes fourth. Joe McAdory finishes fifth. Jamie Dobbs finishes sixth. Hayden Wheeler in seventh. Matt Arcara in the 88 car had a rough start tonight but finishes eighth. Abigail Winter started outside pole, finishes ninth. And Sean Stevens finishes 10th.
Yeah, Jeff, congratulations to the top 10. Strong run. 11th place, we got Adam Coles. And Presley Sora, a good finish for most people, but for him, probably a little disappointing. 12th spot there. Johnny Bruggen, 13th. Matthew Molnar, we see him running up front for 14th. His teammate alongside 15th. And then Tyler Fody, again, another front runner we're used to seeing up front. He had a rough day. Alan Wilson right behind him, 17th. 18th goes to Tyler Dixon. 19th, we got Nicholas Isidro, and then rounding out the top 20 is Ryan Bonifay.
In 21st was Zachary Bosnich. In 22nd, Taylor Larson. 23rd went to David Westergreen, who was having a good run there, but finishes one lap down. Dalton Kilrow was our pole sitter, finishes 24th. Brandon Carr finishes 25th. Chris Rees had a good night going, but finishes 26th, unfortunately. Colton Knight, 27th. Emmanuel Lopez, 28th. Austin Greer, 29th. Nick Kaufman finishes 30th.
Yeah, Jeff, when we take a look at some of the guys that finished way in the back, just a couple of highlights here. At 33rd, we got Kittleman and Lawrence Shaughnessy. We saw him get disqualified. He's finished in 37th. And Alexander Cognac rounding out the top 40. Just one of the few guys that didn't get a lot of laps in tonight, but hoping to get more next time out.
Absolutely right. But right now we have the top three ready to come and talk to us here. Brad Cross, you are our winner here tonight. First off, congratulations on that win. You started 35th and you worked your way up to first. Was that your plan from the beginning, was to not qualify, run the back, and then come up here and win it at the end?
Boys, I tell you, I'm out of breath after that one. But yeah, we had about 6 of us from the team in this race, and we all kind of collectively decided to just start in the back and kind of, hopefully if it would have been a lot more green laps, we were just going to kind of ride them back and keep pace with the main pack until later in the race, till time to go. But it kind of didn't go as planned for a lot of people tonight.
Well, it looks like it went right to your plan. You ended up here in victory lane. Walk us through that last lap there where you pushed the 40 car up to the lead and did everything you could to stay behind him and give him a good shove all the way down the backstretch.
Yeah, apparently the fans watching think I dumped Fody on purpose, but I race with him every week on Wednesday nights in the league, and we just we all swapped lines there drafting on that last restart, and I knew he was fast, so I got behind him, and I was perfectly fine with pushing him to a win and finishing second. And we got such a good run past those guys, and when we both went to the bottom, getting into the corner where I was still pushing him, I don't know if I got him a little loose or what, but he kind of moved up the track a little bit, so I stuck it around the yellow line. Unfortunately, it hooked him and turned him around. It definitely wasn't on purpose. I mean, I don't race like that regardless of what people in the chat think, but I don't do that on here or in real life. But it happens, unfortunately. I've been on the receiving end of that plenty of times too. But I'm telling you, some of those restarts were hairy, but I think that last restart and those last 2 laps there, I was just as nervous trying to run those last 2 laps as what I've been in a real race car before.
Well, you had a great race there. You worked your way from the back all the way to the front. Who do you have to thank here for this run tonight?
Oh, man, that's a long list. Basically just to everybody over at Maxed Out Sim Racing Network, some of my teammates over there. We, like I said, I think we had about 5 or 6 in the race, and we were all kind of working on a plan and keeping each other informed of what was going on. And unfortunately, I was the last man standing from my team. Everybody else got caught up in a wreck, but I had some of them stick around to help spot for me and help me out. And I had some of them, watching the race that wasn't able to race. And there was a couple times, they were all in there making jokes and cracking up. And I'm not going to lie, that last restart, they had me laughing so hard that I didn't know if I was even going to be able to focus on racing.
Well, looks like you did a great job focusing and you brought it home the winner here. Congratulations on that great run, my friend. Good job.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys for the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch them and see a different perspective of everything than just being inside the car. So like I said, hats off to you guys. You always do a good job. We appreciate it. And thanks to William and everybody for putting on the league every Wednesday night and then this race here. And that was wild, boys.
Well, once again, congratulations on it, and hopefully we will see you up here in Victory Lane again sometime.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next up in the booth here is Ryan Decker, and I believe, Rocco, you have caught up with him.
Yes, I have Ryan Decker, second spot. Always a good run. Talladega got a little crazy. A lot of wrecks going on. So, brother, tell me what's going on in your head, trying to just get all of this focus in and keep good with all these yellow flag pace laps.
Dang, I'm lucky. I'll tell you that much, because I ran in back most of the race just trying to avoid as much of it as possible. And then once that final restart, I started in 16th. I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna get up there." So I just wanted to stay in line and kind of get up in and get the best position I could. And once we got up there, all heck broke loose, and I got lucky on that last wreck there.
Did you see it coming, or what were you thinking on that last lap?
Well, I believe the 15 get a little loose down low, and they started moving up a little bit, and I kind of moved up a little bit, and we all just squeezed and ran out of room, and then we all just collected each other. Oh, it was great.
So, Ryan, what do you do to keep yourself occupied during a caution?
Well, most of the time I usually try to race with teammates or whatever, trying to, that way in between the cautions we can talk, kind of get a strategy, get a plan, or, as far as how the race is going to go or what we're going to do.
Excellent, Ryan. Anybody you want to thank?
I got a buddy who's in there, Colton Knight. Thank him for helping me kind of get up through there for a little bit. Thank everybody watching. Thank everybody putting this race together and everything.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you joining us in the booth. It was fun watching your race, and congratulations on the second spot.
All right, thank you.
All right, and that was Ryan Decker, who finished second spot on the box. Always something to be proud of. And then joining us in the booth, just to top out the podium, we had Jared Mogard ran third spot. Jared, how did you find yourself in third spot? How did that last lap go from you?
Well, I just avoided the wreck in turn 4 there and bounced it off the wall, and I was catching a couple other guys. I didn't think I was going to get them, so I tried something, and I went through the grass there and kind of drifted through the grass and was able to pass them and came out third, so it was pretty cool finish there. It wasn't the race we really had planned, and we had damage and stuff, but it was pretty cool to come in third.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something with all that downtime in that race, just pace lap after pace lap, and then all that chaos breaking out in the green-white-checkered. I was really glad to see you guys get through that first lap. I was glad we could finish this thing under green. It had us in the booth pretty excited. So anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to give a shout out to while we got you here?
Yeah, the chat and the team chat and the race really getting way too entertaining. So I just got to thank Dirt Race Central, Twitchy Race Report, Sci-Fi Power Computers, and all the guys on Global SimRacing Network. Not the results we wanted, but we got the win and we got third. And shout out to Brad and congrats to our teammate Zach on the new friendship that he made in the race. And we'll be on to the next one. Thank you, guys.
Good stuff. Congratulations on the third spot tonight. You earned it. And hope to see you up somewhere toward the front next time.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the broadcast as well. Thanks.
And then that was Jared Bogart, who finished out third. Jeff, I'm going to let you put some bows and some wrapping on this one.
Yeah, it was a very long race here, but everyone was fighting for every single position that they could possibly get. The Autism Awareness 250 was an event put on tonight by the Sim Racers for Mental Health. They organize these events every month. So thank you to them for putting on such a great event and letting us be a part of it. Rocco, before I wrap this up, any last words?
Just a fun night. A lot of fun conversation. I enjoyed calling this race with you. Thanks to the GSRC crew. For making it possible. It's always fun to bring these races, and just a good fun time all around. Talladega Super Speedway, always fun no matter what happens. So I was happy. I'm glad to have been able to enjoy it with you, Jeff.
Well, thank you much. I had a great time up here, Rocco. I'm sure we're going to be calling more races again together in the future. Again, this was the Autism Awareness 250 put on by the Sim Races for Mental Health. We're going to wrap this show up here tonight. It was a late one here on the East Coast, but thank you to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thank you to the team today, Sean, Dougie, and Rocco. It's been a great time. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Grant. And if you'd like to support this channel, go check out our merchandise store at gsrc.storenvy.com. That's gsrc.storenvy.com. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to head on over to our YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you don't miss a moment here of all the racing on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, from everyone here at the Global Sim Racing Channel, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track. Good.